Hello and welcome back to Survivor Canberra Backbenchers, where we cover everything season 4 of Canberra Survivor. And it's going to be a fun episode. We've got a few things in store for you. But first, we're going to have our winner tell all. So if you have not, for some reason, watched the finale episode and you're watching this podcast in this moment, stop, pause, go find the other YouTube episode channel, watch the finale, watch any part of the season you haven't, and come back and watch our tell all with our winner. We give you 5 seconds before I bring on the winner of season 4. Without further ado, the winner of season 4, one might say the king of the mountain, it's Will.
Hi, Ash. Good to be here.
Oh, hey, welcome in and congratulations. We've been waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to talk with you as you did something pretty big here. And we're excited. First and foremost, I'm excited that you won because I won a draft. Therefore, I won in my own eyes. So that's the first thing. We love that. But you won. You won $200. What did you do with that money? Obviously, we all want to know.
So yeah, actually a bit of some hot news. I did not go whale watching with the $200. I said I was. I didn't stick to that promise. The whales watching season was over by the time I ended up in Perth. So we had to settle for dolphin watching, which was still
equally as fun,
experience.
Right? Maybe not as unique, but fun still.
Whales are my favorite though. So I was really hoping to spot some whales
next season.
Yeah.
I don't know when that is now, but get mushy with it indeed. We've got some fans in the comment section. Please comment any questions. We're going to do a little deep dive through this season here with Will. See if he remembers anything. See if we remember.
I don't know if I will remember anything.
Honestly, it's such a blur. Like that experience. Let's talk through that. It's 2 days. You start at 8 a.m.-ish on a Saturday, Saturday, or is it?
It was more like it was around 6 a.m. on a Saturday, and I remember like the day before I actually like slept pretty well, and I was like just eating so much food because I was like, I'm not going to be able to eat much food on the weekend, and I need to like carb load for Survivor Canberra. In the end, not really required. Like I got.
Did it help?
I got fed.
That's true.
I was never really hungry.
You've got your little sugary snacks. You get your popcorn. You get your soda. Like you really do have a little snack. You have a Freezy Pop, I think, at one point. Like,
yeah, we got the Zupa Duper. I didn't really eat anything on the second day, but the first day definitely kept me going. Maybe that's why I kind of felt like I died on the second day. Really lacked the energy that I had at the start of the game.
Was it the experience you thought it was going to be going in? Like, did it feel like real Survivor to you?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, it was really, I remember feeling just the nerves of, like you meet a new group of people and you're worried that you're not going to be able to socialize with them and kind of fit in. And so like you combine that stress with the stress of like, if I'm not good enough at that, then I'm going to fail at achieving this dream of mine. So it was just like a lot of stress and overthinking and nerves at the start of the game. But then like as soon as things actually started, it was like so chill. And I just immediately felt relaxed and at ease, I think.
Absolutely.
Which surprised me. I thought I would just spend the entire game perpetually in panic. So maybe it wasn't what I expected. Maybe I found it a lot just so easy to adjust to. It just came very naturally,
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the fun things I think going about there is trying something different that you might not do every day and like just see how you go about it. And obviously you do well. What was your strategy going in versus how you actually played? Was there something different that you did when you saw the people, the returners, kind of all of that, like that twist in going in? How did you go in and how did you adapt?
Yeah, the returners definitely surprised me. It didn't change like a single thing about how I played, to be completely honest. Like I kind of didn't even consider the returnee factor a thing. And I think was kind of interesting come the end of the game when you start realizing, oh, like these returnees have much larger storylines than I do. They have like multi-season arcs, I guess. But no, that wasn't something I ever really considered as a factor. It didn't like change anything about my game. What was my plan coming in? It was just like that social game thing, right? It was just like make sure you're not on the outs. I was very focused on like just the first part of the game, like just get a good grounding, get in good with everyone, and just socialize with people. That's what I was trying to do, like from the jump, pretty much.
What was
Yeah.
the hardest part then going into it as Cat here wants
Hardest
to know?
part of the game. I think like internalizing the stress. Like when you're in a conversation with someone and you're chatting about who to vote for, and you might have a different opinion than the person you're chatting to, and you have to be really careful about what you say because you don't want to say something that's going to get said to someone else and then spiral out of control. So just being really careful about what words I actually said. I think I found that really difficult, but I think because I was working really well on it, it worked to my benefit because I didn't really put my foot in my mouth too often. But yeah, I found that challenging.
And what did your skills, your geospatial skills coming in, what did you bring in to use into the game?
I think my geospatial skills, like definitely the sort of analytical stuff was useful. To be honest, I think the skills that served me best were the skills that I get from like the communication skills. I think because a lot of the geospatial stuff, you're trying to communicate information in different ways. I think that helped me the best, being able to, whether you're communicating something to try and get a plan to go through or explaining your game at the end or, communicating in confessionals. I think that's where it was most useful. But in terms of like making a map, that didn't like come to fruition in the game. Like that didn't help me because the area wasn't big enough to be able to have different routes mapped out. That would have helped me, I think. And I wasn't really finding idols,
You're right. That's
So
a big key.
yeah. I didn't put any effort into finding idols. I didn't care about that part of the game.
How could you when Natalie was doing it all?
Exactly.
You had an ally doing it, so why did you need to?
Yeah.
We're getting a few questions. Let's do questions and then we'll go round by round.
Okay, we'll do questions. Yeah.
Let's see. Running challenge, obviously, that's one of your strong suits. How happy were you to see that?
So happy. And like the biggest thing about that running challenge is like the 2-part aspect of it, right? So I remember like I was like so keen on our tribe winning the first part, so just so I would get the chance to compete in the second part. So yeah, I was just like really hustling our team along to at least win the first part. And then as soon as we got to the second part, I was so thrilled. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to kind of put strut your stuff, pun intended, show your skills, and it's kind of fun one. Really cool aerial shots too of that one. Very well filmed out to see. Let's see. Carlton. I don't know whom Carlton is, but maybe you do.
Carlton's an AFL team, Ashley. You don't know Carlton? Thought you're a big fan.
Yes, I did not know Carlton. So what strategy did Carlton help you get the team, obviously, get you through?
So Carlton, I think, like historically a great successful club, but in recent years have fallen on quite a depressing run of form. So I think kind of the strategy that I learned is that if you have a good run of form, like keep it going. Don't fall off the cliff like Carlton has. I think that helped me throughout the game. I don't know.
Perfect. Well, see, I know my Australian sports team, obviously. We'll be educating more. If you could repeat a challenge or a vote, what would you change from the season?
What would I change if I had to do one again? So I definitely the voting. Well, it's hard to know what to change because if I change something, like it might have resulted in me not winning. So like the one I think about is if I had gone along with the vote for Derek at final 7, right when Aston went. And in retrospect, I think it was really good to take Aston out at 7. But Anthea was obviously trying to make the move on Derek at that point in time. So yeah, I think I said in the episode, I was like, oh, I wish Anthea told me we were doing that move because I would have been down for it. But in retrospect, I'm so glad I stuck to the Aston move because I think that like it it left Derek and Bree as bigger targets than me in the game. So it left just obvious boots at 6 and 5, just allowing me to kind of get a bit closer to the end. So
Absolutely. That
yeah,
makes sense to me. And it's one of those butterfly effect things. Like, if I change
yeah.
one thing, does that change the rest of history or not? Like, so it makes sense. But I mean, it's a fun what if game. We love to do it on this podcast. What if this person didn't vote this person out and do this, this, and this? As we've heard all season. So, it's fun. Um, I know my answer to this four, but which one is better, the Melbourne Boys or the Croissant Four?
Oh, this is gonna get me in trouble maybe.
You can say both.
uh, I think I'll go Croissant 4. It was the original and the best potentially.
It got further. So I
Sorry,
mean,
Mars.
that's the way to go with it. I'm trying to read through these. Was that the only reason you were with the Melbourne Boys? Was because, or do you use anything to form a relationship this short of game? Like the fact using
Oh yeah.
them two as being from Melbourne, does that help just make a connection? Or were you willing to use anything?
Yeah, so I remember how that conversation started. I think we are talking about like our star signs and like astrology. So if it wasn't Melbourne Boys, it might have been like Astrology Boys or something, which I don't know, does that have the same ring to it? Unsure if that would have caught on. But I think we were just getting along really well from the start. And I like as soon as we hit the swap, Mars was someone I just instantly thought, okay, I don't want this guy to go. Whereas Derek, I think, was less keen to keep him around. Um, but yeah, and I think we also made like a merge pact as well. Terrible answer for what?
Oh, I'm assuming Carlton. I'm assuming.
Oh,
I'm just running them back. Let's go with the
um,
Carlton answer.
yeah, but I think yeah, Mars, Derek, and I were just quite like, especially pre-merge, we felt like it felt good until I realized that Mars like had no interest really on flipping on Buru, which made things a bit more tenuous. But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely a hard part in your game. I know that was a vote that you wanted to keep Mars in with. So I know that in that game, that's kind of like probably your game where you had the most conflict. Do you think in that section of the game, right where like Mars goes out?
yeah, I remember my Gula team members like kind of iced me out of that vote because I clearly had no interest in doing Mars and I wanted to do Janine. And that was kind of I just wanted like shields, because if Mars went, then I was assuming that people would be coming for me soon after that. So yeah.
Oh, Derek says no. The terrible answer of changing the vote at 7. My bad. My bad.
Why was that a terrible answer? I said I didn't want to change the vote. Like it was the right move to do Aston for sure.
Oh gosh, let's see. We've got a few questions rolling through. I'm trying to what was the most satisfying moment for you in season 4?
Most satisfying moment. I think it was getting the final 4 tie and taking it to fire. I think that was like so satisfying because I thought I was cooked at 4 if I didn't win the immunity. And
You
I got
probably
such
should
a
have
like,
been.
yeah. Like I remember thinking at that Muni challenge, I was trying to do the Michelle Fitzgerald stacking, and I just wasn't getting it. And I remember like I was just resigning myself to fourth place. I was like, okay, I guess I'm just fourth. I guess I'm gone. Um, and it was like a Hail Mary on getting Natalie to vote for me and taking it to a challenge. So just to have that chance, it wasn't even winning the challenge. It was just to have the chance to do the challenge was like so satisfying
And what
to
did
have
you
that
have to lose at
opportunity.
that point? Like, might as well
Yeah,
throw it all at the wall. I
yeah,
mean, and if
exactly.
you didn't, you probably wouldn't have had that chance. But I mean, good for you. That's why you never quit. That's for sure. I'm just reading through. What do you think was the most influential decision in your game?
Ooh, I think it was at the merge vote when Jordan went out and we could have voted for Jordan, or I think Maddie was the other vote there. And I remember Derek and I were kind of deciding between Jordan or Maddie because it was a 7-4 vote, so we could have swung it either way. And kind of the girls were going for Jordan, and the Buru group that I wanted to work with, like the Aston, Mars, and Bree group, were going for Maddie, and we ended up voting for Jordan. And I just think like I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do Maddie here because I thought that she was kind of openly targeting me that entire round. But I think if we did do Maddie, it would have given too much power to Mars and Bree. So I think that decision kind of set the tone for the rest of the merge, and it meant that like me, Anthea, Derek, Natalie had the upper hand over kind of the Mars and Bree group for the rest of the post merge. I think that was quite influential.
Absolutely. We got two of the similar questions
Yep.
about who's your favorite player
Ooh.
inspo, and or who would you equate your play style to? It can be both US or AU international. We accept all here on this podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, Mish Fitz is definitely my favorite US player. I've got a couple of other favorites. I really like Trish Hegarty from Cagayan. She's really good. I don't know. I don't play remotely like her though. Natalie Anderson as well. It's hard to know if I actually play like these people or not. Probably not. I try. I think Michelle's not a bad comparison because I did try and like I lent on my social game like so much. That was a priority for me.
And
And
you win when you need
yeah,
to. I feel like Michelle
yeah,
does that,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
Yeah, for sure.
that's not bad. Um, let's see. Have you apologized for this night challenge?
No apologies from me.
It helped you get the win, surely.
Yeah. Not at all.
We need to know. The fans are banging at your door to know if you've dedicated this to Lily. Not sure who she is, but
100%. Lily was my inspiration. I thought of her, you know, every night of the game.
all two
Lily's my
nights.
dog.
Okay. I was like, I'm gonna put it up there.
All one night. All one night.
All one night. Um. Also, this is a for you question. Unsure.
Yeah. Unsure? Oh, okay. So
Unsure of
you
what
think
it means.
hotelers. So hotelers are people that didn't camp the night. People
Oh,
that
got you.
went home overnight.
Oh,
Um,
they do that? No, everyone camps, surely.
I don't know. Would their win be tainted? I'm not sure. I guess like there's no telling what people are doing overnight, right? I think the sanctimony of the game is it's like lockdown. You have to kind of you're like off grid.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's see.
She'd probably like argue with me and get me to quit the game or something, like she did to Lindsay.
And would you quit the game though? That's the real question.
If Trish Hegarty was screaming at me, would I quit the game? No, I think I'd stay. I'd hang around. I'd be honored.
Exactly. Oh, Charlene, so true. People stop playing once the camera's off. Of course, of course. And let's see, one more question before we kind of back it up and we'll do some structured thoughts throughout the game. How's your life changed since you got the dub, since you become a winner?
Hmm. I think I don't know. I think it changes how you like. I don't know. It doesn't change. Like I think I'm still the same person, so maybe it hasn't changed much about me. But it's like something that you can be proud of, and that's cool. You know, as someone
Mhm.
who like loves Survivor and has always loved Survivor, like it's pretty awesome to have like played and won the game. You know, so yeah,
Uh,
this makes me happy. I guess. Yeah.
Charlene says, "Kat, do you think he's changed since he's won?" That's what we need to know. You chime in, uh, and of course, friends of the podcast need to know: are you still remembering those who helped you get there? Oh, they're funny.
Taking your lessons from your siblings. I mean, definitely. I think my sister Natasha, who's commenting, I think she'd be a really good player as well.
Sign her up
But
for
she'd be a lot more keen to start conflicts than I am. I'm more conflict avoidant.
really. I couldn't see that. Never. Funny. No, that'd be fun.
She'd be
Blood
more
versus
entertaining than me.
water. We can get a blood versus water and see who wins out.
She would beat me for sure.
Well, someone's got to win in the family. We can't have two winners, or we could. Who knows? Um. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's jump back a little bit. We've had some fun with questions.
Excuse
We're gonna
me.
start family drama. Oh no.
I feel really bad now.
Okay, actually, this is a good question before we jump ahead. Um, Shout out to commenter. If you need advice for people who aspire to be like you, both in terms of emulating your game, but also who
Emulating
you
your
are as a
game.
person, what advice would you give?
Emulating your game or okay, emulating my game, I would say like overthink things. Like really overthink every decision you're making before you make it. And like second guess all the interactions that you have. Um, that really helped me in the game, I think. Yeah.
Perfect.
And don't take it too seriously. Like don't take anything too seriously in the game.
Exactly. You're playing for the title, $200 and a fun weekend. So I think that's a good point. Is like have a little fun, go out there, make friends, but also like play hard at the same time. It's a fun
Yeah.
mix. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They're asking for a friend. So there you go, friend.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty. So let's rewind a little bit and get back to the start with your gula. Was there any takeaway when you walk in? Who did you want to work with right away? We see who you did start with. But who
Mhm.
are you thinking when you walk in and see the Blue Gula tribe?
So I remember like Ben was super goofy even like before we even started the game. So I remember thinking like, oh, this guy is going to be like the life of the tribe. He's going to be dictating every conversation. So I want to be friend. Like I want this guy to. It's like yeah, you want this guy to like you. Is that sort of thing, right? With Ben. So. I felt like then when we ended up in the groups, it was like a really comfortable situation because it's only four of you, so you feel like immediately like at ease, and yeah, just got great vibes from Derek, Anthea, and Ben, like almost like straight off the bat. And the other people I got really good. I got good vibes from pretty much everyone on the tribe actually. Like Rose as well, I got really good vibes from her. Natalie, I had a really good conversation with Mushi about pharmacology early on, and yeah.
Yeah, so a really good tribe. So it's really hard to know who do you vote up first. So you guys unfortunately lose
Yeah.
early on and go to your first tribal. Did you like going on early so you could get your like feet in the water to the game, or was it kind of like a hard choice who to vote up first?
I think it was great because it meant that we were in those like cringeworthy pre tribal chats early on. Like it gets, you're learning how the kind of to and fro those conversations work quite early on was good. And I didn't feel like I was in danger at like the first tribal at least. So, but yeah, Devo to lose because like it just meant we lost the numbers early.
Exactly. I mean, but it's hard, but
Yeah,
someone had to. So it's a pretty majority heavy, I think, that Jasmine goes, I believe.
yeah.
8 votes against. So yeah, pretty majority. Um,
Mm.
what what do we do after Jasmine? I know we get 3 Gula in a row.
Yeah,
Correct?
we had we had like a double challenge, and then we won the first half and lost the second half. So we had to go back again. And Simon was like someone I wasn't really hitting it off with off the bat. I think there was like a conversation with Ben. I was like asking him, "Oh, how do you talk to Simon?" And I was like trying to because he was like really hitting it off with Simon,
Ben was
and
the
I was
Simon whisperer.
yeah. Ben was getting on great. So Ben didn't want to do Simon at all. That's why Ben was trying to push for Natalie, I think, in that second round.
Can you
So
imagine
yeah,
if
a bunch.
Natalie
Yeah,
goes early? That'd be a wildly different game, I feel like. If Ben gets
yeah.
his way. It doesn't, but it'd be
How
pretty.
things would be different. Yeah, if there's like like if Simon hangs around instead of Natalie, it would be a crazy different game for sure. And I think it would have happened if I didn't, because I was like pushing back so much on that plan, right?
Mhm.
Um, I think it would have been Natalie if I wasn't like, let's not do Natalie, because I really liked Natalie and I was getting like really good strategic insight from her. Um, just like when you're chatting names and chatting strategy, there's people that you can kind of bounce ideas off. And Natalie was one of those people that I was doing that well with, but I guess for maybe Ben and Derek, they weren't getting that early on from her as much. Um, so yeah, I was like, why are we doing Natalie? Let's do let's do Simon or Mushi. Um, yeah, so I think I wanted Simon at that second round, and it just took me 2 votes to get there.
Absolutely. And, we get there, but then we lose
Yeah,
again, as you mentioned, and we lose Ben,
yeah,
which for the viewers was a big loss just because of confessionals and entertainment. But what did
yeah.
losing Ben feel like on the tribe?
Um, yeah, I was annoyed to lose Ben because that was like after the swap, and it just felt like our alliance was falling apart. Like losing Ben, and then we lost Rose as well, and I was like, oh, all these people that I was working with, like my spot in the game is kind of diminishing because we're just watching all these Gulars get picked off. And then like in my brain, I'm like so anti Buru, so anti them voting off like my friend Ben and my friend Rose. Um, yeah, so that's kind of really spurring that Buru versus Gula kind of storyline in the pre-merge, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And I forgot that Ben goes on the swap tribe there, so that does make
Yeah,
sense on how luck is a huge thing in Survivor, and he got very unlucky, and you arguably might have got more lucky sticking with most of your core there. So that's
yeah.
pretty huge for you. Let's see. We get Haley, Rose, and Adele next. Any key points on any 3 of them for you?
Oh, just the Adele vote was like easily my favorite vote of the entire game. That was like such a fun round. Had like the
Break
best time.
break it down for us, because I remember the Adele vote, watching it, being like, I was podcasting and I had like a 3-page memo of what happened that round, and it was wild from a viewer, but I can't imagine living it. Tell us your point of view from that one.
Oh, it was just like the chaos of like I had immunity that entire time. So I just like I knew that I wasn't in danger. Um, and just the chaos of Anthea losing her vote and then sorry, not losing her vote, taking the totem and
Potentially.
everyone assuming she had lost her vote due to doing that. And just the panic that caused. And I just I just kind of really enjoyed the panic of it all, and like people were like running from conversation to conversation, and um, yeah, it was just a lot of fun, that vote.
Well, and I think one thing I enjoy about it, chaos, is it's hard to
Yeah.
control, and if you can control the chaos, no one else can. So it kind of helped get the way you wanted because it was supposed to be Adele, or Delhi, or Anthea's the names that were being pitched.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Delhi, and then the Delhi, Mars, and Mark were pitching Anthea.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And
But
then
I feel,
Mark ended up voting with us for Delhi, I think.
yeah, because he wanted to show he
Yeah.
was loyal to Blue, and then you
Yeah.
guys swiftly turn around and vote him out um, right after.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's if you can get the numbers, you knew all the information that round, and minus Mark, like you're able to know that you should be safe, and no one felt super worried there.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
is did we miss you giving Mushy the the advantage?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That
So that
that's
that was after Adele went. Um, and yeah, that was just like a comically easy decision for me. That just kind of fell in my lap for winning that immunity. So yeah, like I remember sitting there at that tribal, and the entire like 90% of the conversation of that tribal is about how Mushi's on the bottom. So it's like,
because you
okay.
said, "There's my sign.
Yeah.
Here's my idol. Be safe."
Yeah.
What could Mark have done more?
Oh, literally nothing. Mark did nothing wrong. Mark did everything, but like Mark's gameplay post swap is like exactly how you play a post swap being in the minority situation. Like he did perfectly. Um, like we had no reason to not trust him as Gula. We had we all wanted him to make the merge. We like all wanted him around. Um, it was just from my perspective, I just given Mushi the immunity. Like that just the round before. So if I'm thinking, oh, who's going to be more loyal to me, Mark or Mushy? I just had to think it was Mushy, you know?
Right. I mean, you've made a public thing to say for her. You'd think her loyalty would be to you. So I could see
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. But Mark just played that post swap perfectly. Um, in the situation where, you know, he was on the bottom and making the majority feel like you're a part of them, if that makes sense, you know? Yeah, and I think I remember the podcast you guys were saying, oh, maybe we should have gone for Natalie or something that round, or you know, Anthea, or like one of the like the Ghoulas should have turned on each other. Um, like I
I
don't
think
know.
we wanted fun TV. I think we weren't looking
Yeah,
for
yeah,
optimal gameplay. I'm a messy, like I
mm,
love a messy storyline, a little
yeah,
drama. So I'm sure like eating the Blue together. I think we were ready to see a little less
yeah.
camaraderie, but we'll get there later in the season. We just had to wait a few weeks.
It was unfortunate how the swap shook out there. There was just like it was just not the most entertaining episode based on we didn't have to turn on each other or anything. So
But I'll say, to get a win, sometimes it's not entertaining to get the win, and that's
yeah,
fine. Like it's sometimes boring, but if it's a good game for you, I won't hate not having drama. Like as a
yeah.
player, it makes sense. Um, so fair to say, endless loyalty, trust, and blind faith does not compare to the stature of Queen Mushy. Exactly. You had to pick between Mark and a queen. What do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
So funny. Let's see. Is there anything else pre-merge or pre-jury that you want to hit on that we haven't touched on?
I think like pre-jury, me and Anthea really solidified our final two, I think. So that was the hierarchy that I had throughout the rest of the game, that Anthea was like my number one ally, and then every other ally kind of fed into that.
And when did you establish that? I guess like how early on in the game?
It was
Because
so
that
early on.
so
Yeah.
early.
It was maybe the first or second episode for sure, I think.
because it's
Yeah.
fun to watch that go into the end game where you're like, I'm so in with Anthea, and Anthea's like, Will must go. Will has to leave. I do not trust. It's just so funny to see like what your trust is, and from how early to like to see it crumbling at the end.
Yeah.
Not from your side, obviously, but we'll get to that. But it's very interesting to see how quick those form and how much people stick to them. So very interesting. I believe, let's see, we get to the jury.
Mhm.
That's right after the night challenge, the infamous night challenge. The next morning we wake up and find out we're merged. Tell us about
Yeah. Yeah.
meeting everyone and what you wanted to do post or pre, now that you're merged, what you wanted to do to get your game a little mixed in with new people.
Yeah. So like right before the merge, like the last thing we'd seen was Aston coming back into the game, and he had like just been voted out, coming and come back into the game, right? And I had no idea at that stage, like overnight, I'm thinking, oh, why did they vote out Aston? Um, I didn't realize that they did the whole unanimous decision thing. So like come merge, I'm thinking, can we exploit like Aston going and coming back in? Like, is that a weakness in their tribe? Um, but then when he did win the challenge to come back in, like Bree and Mars and Maddie, they're all like cheering and clapping, like, "Woo, Aston's back in!" So I was like, "Oh, like I was just confused by the relationship about him getting voted out and coming back in. And obviously, like knowing what actually happened with the unanimous decision, it all makes sense. But just from the Gula tribe, I was thinking these people have just watched me win this running challenge. They've watched me give the immunity to Mushi, like, and we're down in the numbers. Gula's down in the numbers, so I just thought I'd be screwed come merge, and that Aston um, kind of vote out. I thought was potentially an in to split them up, and yeah, that was kind of my thinking overnight. I remember I was not confident overnight. I was Yeah, when I went to sleep that night, I was like, I'm going to be like one of the first couple of boots in the merge. Um, yeah,
And so, I mean, coming to the merge is a split. Red has majority, or are you top?
yeah,
Or like
they had
majority by one?
six
Yeah,
five majority. Yeah,
6-5. So you're up by one. Was that something where you were like, do I need to jump ship? Do I need to go? Do I need to play middleman? Like, what's your thought? Are you just vibing until you figure it out?
I was vibing at the start. I was keen to kind of work with new people, like get to know new people. I had a conversation with like people I hadn't met before, like Bree and Jordan and Aston, just trying to understand, and Maddie as well. Which I think served me well. I think that was one of the reasons people didn't want to throw my name out, because they saw me as a workable number for their sides. Um, I wasn't keen to like jump ship on my Gula numbers though immediately. Like definitely not.
Yeah, and speaking of like jumping ship, what it feels like as a viewer, we see the blue, we're
Yeah.
not going to turn on each other, we're going to stick together, and we see red having to make those decisions to vote each other out. Granted,
Yeah.
we the Aston vote is very much pushed, but people
Mm.
start to switch on their red. We see Janine flipping, Maddie flipping. What do you think
Yeah.
did not make them come together that y'all had?
So I think they had that initial split of the Marsbury Aston Jordan alliance, and like come merge when like me and Derek were trying to, like, I obviously had that connection with Mars that I made pre-merge. So people like Janine and Maddie noticed that connection and grew weary of that connection and wanted to get people like Mars and Jordan out. I think that's what happened. And then like like Mars was kind of trying to protect me and Derek's name, like because like that scramble post the merge, the first two names out there are me and Derek, right?
Mhm.
And then it kind of swings around, and Anthea is the first person to suggest Jordan in that kind of girls alliance group with Janine and Maddie. And by that point, Janine and Maddie are like, yes, let's do Jordan. We're down to vote for that sort of larger Buru group. So I think it was just like a cycling of targets and just people protecting other people, which led to the result. But definitely, like my connection with Mars, like in that first merge vote, 100% saved me. Like that came in so clutch there, honestly.
And that's one thing I think I noted throughout the season is you were willing to go and at least attempt to make some social connections. Even a small conversation didn't feel significant at the time, but I think that helped you and people being like, "Oh, I like Will. I think Will will work with me because he's come and at least attempted to talk to me." I think that gives you dividends moving forward, just making those attempts this early in merge. So that's at least what I noticed.
Yeah, yeah.
And an interesting question we can pose to you, but also your
Ooh.
castmates and people in the comments. Was there a hero in a villain tribe, red, blue, or is that everyone a hero of their own story?
I think everyone was just themselves, right? I don't think there was heroes and villains. I think yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Dan was trying to do with the edit.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't want to say that people were villains. Like
Honestly,
from my perspective, the ghoulas were the heroes, but that's because I was a ghouler and I don't
fair enough.
know.
Let's see. Was there any favorite challenges?
Ooh, least favorite challenge.
Or at least, sorry, I can't read. You're right.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like the flipping over challenge, like where you had to run and flip over the tile, then run to another one, flip over the tile.
Oh, the
Because
quick like circle.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you were only allowed to flip over one tile at a time. So
Was there a
I don't
strategy
know.
to that? Because we talked about it on the podcast. Was there a correct way
I
to do
couldn't
that
figure it
game? Do we
out.
know? Did he figure it out? No,
I don't know what I was doing in that challenge.
and that's okay. That it was you were
And it,
safe that round. It's good.
it was annoying because people were like, I remember like before we did that challenge, Derek and Mars like, oh, you've already won this challenge, Will, like because it was a running challenge, right? And then like I just flopped, so I just
It's
didn't
more of
know
a
how to embarrass
strategy
me.
than a running at that point. You had to
Yeah,
figure out the strategy. Should have trained harder in Shanghai when you were doing your 30-day prep.
yeah,
Charlene says there's so many reds. Um,
yeah. I think so.
it's not at the challenge. It's at what Will didn't do well.
Yeah, no, Mel's challenge was incredible. In terms of the best challenge, the ropes course in the woods challenge was incredible. That was so fun to do
When I
and
saw the
so cool
preview,
to set up.
I
Yeah.
was like, "Holy crap! You're doing that big of a scale one. So fun."
Yeah, it was epic. Yeah. And it was massive. It was like hundreds of meters of like forest and trees and everything. It was really cool. And it was like a maze. You had to like map out. Maybe that's where the geospatial came in. You had to like map out your route through the to the different like stations to pick up the things. Yeah, to pick up the photos. It was so cool.
Oh,
It
that
was
one
good.
was jumping all the way ahead. That one was so hard to watch because I'm like, how do you know where you've been? How do you know which picture you have? Like, how are you organizing it? Like, what was your strategy?
Oh, it was just so we each had like our own starting points like in the route. And
Mhm.
then I guess it was yeah, just I feel like it was pretty easy to remember which ones you had been to because you just had to remember the tree. Um and then it was just finding the quickest way to just kind of zigzag around back and forth and avoid other people was also a big thing. Like you kind of got stuck in a bottleneck if you ended up on the same line as someone else and you couldn't like get past them or overtake them or crisscross. So that was also a big thing, finding a route that avoided other people and then just yeah, like getting back as fast as you could. Um, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair. And you find the last hidden immunity idol there. Do you think anyone had
Yeah,
passed it before you went, or did you just get lucky to go back?
definitely. I think like everyone passed it before me because like it started out with, 5 photos on each tree. Um, and I'm pretty sure like there were only like 1 or 2 photos on that tree by the time I got there. So I was one of the last people to that tree. And the idol was right next to the photos. I don't understand how no one else got that idol.
It's
So
watching the edit, it's pretty
yeah.
shocking to be like, wow, you just grab it and like, how did you not see it? Was it like Mecha Chameleon where you think it's so obvious and see it, but it's really just not?
I guess so.
To put a niche reference in there for like the 4 people who get that. um, let's see. Could public see
Ooh,
you and do you think
yes. Yeah,
you're
members of the
mistake?
public for sure. Okay, so there were like mountain bikers all over our campsite. So like sometimes you were like deep in a conversation, then you realize, oh, we're on the mountain bike course, and then you'd have like a mountain bike barreling towards you. So the funny thing is, my my manager at work is a big mountain biker, and I was like chatting with him the day after Survivor. We were like out at coffee, and he was like, "Oh, I was out at Mount Majura doing some mountain biking, and I saw there was this group of people there, and they were like, it's a bit strange. They were doing, I think, and he said like, oh, I think they were like botanists. I think they were doing botany, like some sort of field work practical." And I was like, oh,
You're like,
I was
that's
like,
so
oh,
weird. What would people be
that's
doing
so
in the
random that
woods?
people would be doing that. Yeah, so really interfered with your mountain biking.
So when did you show him the links to the episode?
Or like, this year, like
You're
two and
like,
a half years later.
remember those botanists? It was me.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Oh gosh, yeah. Let's see. What was your favorite reward? And then
Ooh,
also along with
rewards.
that, what was the food situation? People want to know the behind the scenes.
Uber Eats, Macca's. Yeah. So I didn't eat anything until the like the Monday morning. Um, and I ate like nothing on Sunday. We just had like the breakfast, which was just like a croissant each. On the Saturday, we won the popcorn reward and the Coca-Cola reward as well. And then the food challenge, the croissants at the start. So that's probably all I ate. And then the red velvet cupcakes with Anthea on the last day too.
Well, of course, you can't forget
Yeah.
that one. That was a big choice.
Yeah.
Um, and we can't forget the soda. The soda brought us some of the best will content of the
Yeah, I know
season.
that really, I don't know. That set me off.
It's
That
so
caffeine. I
funny.
don't know.
I mean, your stomach was probably not super full with anything, so you just had a caffeine rush. And you know
I
what?
guess so.
That's some of the fun that you'll remember of just
Yeah.
random little goofy laughs. So,
Yeah.
well, that's so funny. Yeah, let's get the little side here. Let's go back to the merge. After merge
Yeah.
voting, I don't even remember where we left on who we voted.
Um
Was it-
yeah, so Jordan goes and then we have the double vote out where you have to choose if you want to vote in the second round or the first round.
I love Now or Later. How did you feel about that twist when you heard it?
Oh, I mean, I didn't mind it. It was actually like I don't know, a convenient way to get 2 people out. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Like obviously it was worrying because you knew that there would be a vote with not many people voting, but once it actually came to strategizing, it was quite. I felt pretty good about it.
and remind
Um,
us what you did. Did you vote now? Or did you vote later?
so yeah, so I voted in the second round for Maddie, but the first round people loaded up on Mushy because she had just like stamped herself as the biggest contender in the game because she won the immunity in the first merge vote. So I knew that Mushy was probably going in the first vote, and then there were like not that many people voting in the second vote. So me and Derek went for Maddie,
Mhm.
and Maddie was targeting me like since we arrived in merge. So
Oh, that makes
that was a good
sense.
decision. Yeah,
And I think voting then is always pretty smart because it, like, often most people, I want to go now, I want to make sure I'm protected. But if you are
Yeah.
voting in a smaller group, you have more power. Like 2 votes carry way more weight than, 2 in the first round. Which is so
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
And that vote ended up as it was a 2-1-1 vote, but it so easily could have been 1-1-1-1, that vote, which would have been crazy. Because so I was gonna vote for Janine, like 90% of that tribal, I was like, oh, I'm definitely voting Janine this tribal. And then because I thought Derek would do Janine with me, but then he was like, no, like we have to do Maddie because Janine had the desperation station.
Mhm.
And we weren't sure if she was going to be safe or not. So, yeah,
You might as
that's the
well,
only reason we did that. I did Maddie at least. Otherwise, it would have been 1-1-1-1.
and probably better. Your season did love a tie though, so probably better you stuck with me. Maybe Janine's good at math and not do that. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. We'll get some of those. Let's see. We lose Maddie and Mushy, the double M, but that's not the last M that's leaving.
Mm.
You guys vote up Mars next, which I know was not something you wanted to do. You had some contention that round. We talked a little bit earlier. Was there anything that stood out from you in this round?
I just remember that I knew that I wasn't going to be with my tribe members that round. I just like knew that I didn't want to work with them. I just disagreed with what they were doing that round. So I was trying to work with Mars, Bree, and Aston to vote out Janine, which would have saved Mars. But yeah, there was not. Neither side wanted to do what I wanted to do, unfortunately. Which is a bit
And
annoying. I was kind of like caught between
a
like
rock in a
a
hard
push and
place.
pull. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I just wanted to keep all my options open. So I was just going out of my way to be like, oh, Janine isn't really an option for me. Let's target Janine. Um, and obviously other people didn't really see that as beneficial to their game. But I was happy to just vote for Janine anyway. I didn't really care if I was out of the loop on either plan because I knew it wasn't going to be me. And I knew I wasn't really going to get much backlash for doing it. So
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna
yeah.
ask, do you think this affected your moving forward your game at all? Do you
Like not
think
remotely, really. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
because I think people at least saw that you voted the way you wanted to. I think some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
can
exactly.
respect that, so I guess that's fair.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes there's like you kind of know what's happening and if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can just like vote for someone else.
exactly. Vote how you want to
Back
vote.
yourself. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Back with your best interest, even if it's not the
Yeah.
interest of the rest of the tribe.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So Mars leaves, and where was he in your like ranking? Like, was he mid, high?
He would have probably been like third in my ranking at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
third or fourth. Actually, he was pretty high. He might have been second or third at that point. Yeah.
Okay. So like,
He
it's a
was so crucial. Mars was so crucial to my game early merge. Like Mars is the reason I got through the early merge for
mhm.
sure. At least like our relationship was really crucial, I think. And also really crucial for like Gula taking the numbers advantage as well. I think that was really important.
Truly. And and that's hard, but sometimes losing your biggest ally, or not biggest, one of your top allies
Mm.
helps you realize, well, there's other people I can turn to. And I think you are pretty good at shifting and moving and going with the flow of that. As we see, coming down the stretch here. The next vote, we go to Aston's second vote out of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about earlier, where Anthea was like, "Oh, should we do Derek this round?" And I was like, "No, let's not do Derek. It's too early to do Derek." Which is the right decision for me, right?
Mhm,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
You
uh,
you have to go with your gut. Like in
yeah,
that part of the game, the end game, you know what's best for you, I feel like. And knowing when to shoot and when to hold back is super key.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you do that well here. Let's see, Aston, I can't remember. He's voted out. He's the fifth jury member. I'm trying to think. Was it a what was that vote like? I don't remember.
Oh, that vote was a mess. That vote was 3-2-2.
Okay, okay.
That
Yeah.
was I don't know what happened. I still am at a loss for what happened in that vote.
Oh,
Um,
truly.
me, Natalie, and Derek voted for Aston, and then the other four split their votes 2-2
That's right.
on Anthea and
Derek?
Derek. Yeah,
Derek, I think, yeah.
yeah,
Because that's when they're trying to get him to go out. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
So a
yeah,
little goofy, but the sense of it worked out for your game in the long run,
yeah.
somehow, some way, but it did. Um, let's see. And at this point, Natalie is sitting on two immunity idols. Hidden,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
so
So
hidden.
Natalie's found her second immunity at this point. Yeah.
How did that weigh into your
Um,
game?
so I always knew Natalie was a close ally of mine, but once she had all that power, I started thinking like, you have to think like, what's she gonna do with this? Could she play it on someone else that's not herself, right? Um, and I thought she would play it on Derek. Like Derek asked her to play it on her at 7, and then I thought, oh, is she going to play it on Derek at 6? When I was like decided, oh, we actually need to get Derek out now. So I remember at 6, I was thinking like, are we going to have to like split the votes between Derek and Natalie because Natalie might play her idol on Derek. Yeah, I definitely thought she might use it to save Derek. It was surprising to me when she like eventually came to me and she said, I'll play it for you out of anyone. Um,
Yeah, I mean
yeah,
that's gotta make you feel good, but also in the back of your head, you're like, is she just saying this? Is she saying that to everyone?
yeah,
It's kind of one of those like, what's real?
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
definitely no, I believed her when she said it. Like,
good.
but you can never, trust someone 100% when they make that sort of promise to you. I
They
guess
have
unless
two
they actually give you
idols.
the idol. Yeah,
Exactly. Unless they do exactly what you give Anthea one at the end. Like, that's the only trust you can have is giving it in your hands, which we can talk
yeah.
about. We'll talk about that here shortly. Um, we move on to final six, where Eden had a question I was waiting to hold since we're getting close to it. This is the last round where the desperation station is able to be used.
Mm.
Granted, everyone just forgets about it. Apparently, what happens if Derek plays it? Does that change your vote? Planet six.
Oh, that's a really good question. I guess if Derek takes it at 6, I would. I mean, I'd still want there to be votes on Derek if he didn't get the challenge correct. So I think I'd be trying to split it on someone. I
But
think I can't
who?
remember who Janine voted. I know Janine voted with Derek at 6. I can't remember who they voted for. Was it Anthea?
Um,
So Janine and Derek
yes,
were voting for
because she
Anthea.
was
Okay.
voting for him.
I guess I'd probably be fine then. I'd probably just leave it as it is, 4-2. If Derek finds it and wins, then I guess Anthea goes at 6, right?
Yeah, you risk it for.
It's not me, so I'm not
I
too
mean,
worried about it.
at that point in
Yeah.
the game, you kind of have to turn to that mentality.
Yeah.
When does your game go from the we us mentality to me winning mentality? When does that flip?
Probably like at 6.
Six.
Like
Okay.
after 7. After 7 it's more the we, and then like at 6 it's like, yeah.
Survivor mentality.
Yeah.
Anyone but me. I've got to be the last one standing, kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. But like even earlier, because like in that final 8 vote for Mars, I'm like not voting with the people I'm working with. So maybe I'm already doing that earlier. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
there's a small percentage you're always thinking like, what's the best to influence me? But I feel like your game's kind of like there. You have a pod that you've been working with, and this is your break free,
Mm.
your caterpillar coming into the butterfly moment.
And you have to be like you have to still be collaborative with people to get there, right? You can't just fully become an independent player.
Mm.
Um, so because otherwise people will latch onto that and take you out before you can fully explore that. So you have to leave it quite late, I think, to detach from the group mentality. I'd say you have to leave it until probably like 6 or 5 to detach from that mentality. Otherwise, yeah, you'll get taken out before then.
And is this at the point of the game where you're like, I might have a chance to do this? Is this the point of the
Yeah,
game?
I think yeah. So like early merge, I was like, okay, I'm probably like gone, between 11 and 8th. Um, it was it was probably around here. It was probably like around final 6 where I was like, like if I take out Derek and I take out Bree, I think I can win. Like that was my thought process when we got to 6. Sure.
Absolutely. Well, I know you have a confessional. Like, I don't want to vote out Derek, but I need to because he's
Yeah.
too good at this game. Like, I feel like at this point in the game, you're getting like really strong connections with these people you're voting out. How hard is that?
Yeah. It was definitely hard at the time. Like you saw, I was like crying over voting out Derek.
Mhm.
Like yeah. So I definitely like got close to these people very quickly. Like, Derek, Natalie, and Anthea, because we were together for so long.
Absolutely. And you bond over like sugar, not coffee,
Yeah.
popcorn, like all these things. And like you have a lot of downtime when you're not losing to like hang out. So it does become hard. It's
Yeah.
crazy over that short of a time. But yeah. Let's see. Yes, exactly, Charlene. Exactly. It's an interesting little world we throw you guys into. And who do you think that should have made it further than they did? Like, if now, like, who would you like to see go deep merge with you?
Haley, I think,
It's a good
probably.
answer. Good
Yeah.
answer.
I didn't get to play with Haley at all, but I would have liked to. Yeah.
She's
I was definitely
great.
rooting for her to come back from the challenge.
She would have been Team Blue all the way, I think, had she got back in. It would have been very funny to see the flip. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Um, so yeah, we say goodbye to Derek. Derek goes to be a juror. And we move on to that top five. And I know Bree says she feels like it's a winner
Mm.
go out feeling. Was that always going to
Yeah.
be the plan?
The issue was Bree was getting very strong jury like reactions and very strong vibes. And when you look at the jury, like you just see Bree's friends essentially. So it was like, okay, well, she's saying, "Oh, I haven't been in the numbers, come post merge." She'd been on the wrong side of some votes, but I just like her social game with the jury was so like top notch. And then she won an immunity to save herself at 6. She won the desperation station at 7. Like she had too much ammo in the tank. So I don't know. It was one of those things where I was like, oh, I don't know if I want Brie at the end.
No, that
And
makes
she was an easy target to sell as well. It's like an easy target to sell that it's not you, and you just feel like it's beneficial for everyone.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what was your other option at that point if Bree wins? Like, where do you go?
Yeah. I guess like if I keep Brie around at 5, like obviously I have the idol. I could have given the idol to Brie. And then who am I targeting with that? Natalie already has another idol. So are we idling out Janine? Maybe. Or are we idling out Anthea? Like those are the other options. And Anthea is like still my number one, right? She's still someone I want to be at the end with. Maybe Janine at 5 is a move, but I don't know if other people would do that because no one has shown interest in voting Janine to this
The
point
whole
except
time.
me. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
You said I'll do it again.
Yeah.
And this is the round where you share those cupcakes. And
Yeah.
was there you got to pick, right?
Yeah.
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 So tell us, was it just because Anthea was your like solid number one you picked her, or was there a strategic reason you picked her to go with?
Well, I think because I had won the immunity and I knew I had an idol in my pocket. I think I wanted someone to kind of debrief with, and I knew that I could kind of lay it all out there with Anthea. And obviously, like I wanted to vote out Brie. So why would I take Brie unless I'm doing like a Aussie on Aubrey sort of move, like a sweet talking someone before you vote them out, which is terrible. Yeah, so I don't know. Anthea just seemed like the choice there.
That's fair. And then
Yeah.
you tell her about the idol.
Yeah.
Nay, you give her the idol. What was your thinking behind
Yeah.
that?
I was kind of just thinking about that in real time at that moment. I was like, oh, I guess I have this idol. And then I I only had it for like 10 minutes and I've already given it to someone else. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just I just knew that there wasn't much she could do with it other than play it on herself, because if she didn't play it on herself, then she was potentially idling herself out. So I I was just more than happy to play it for her. And I wanted to hide, like I'm trying to downplay myself as well. Like I don't want to be like playing, like getting up and playing idols on someone else at Final Five if like I'm just going to be an obvious boot at Final Four. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
maybe if I do that and play an idol for Anthea at Final Five, Natalie doesn't vote to take it to fire at Final Four. So
That's true.
that's why I was more than happy to give her the idol. Obviously, I'm giving power to Anthea, but I think it made my chance of getting to the end greater.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think we say goodbye to Brie and we get to that final four where this you say is one of your favorite options of this season of just getting that tie to be forced out. Was there
Yeah,
anything? I mean, obviously your chat with Natalie, how long Anthea and Janine were talking scared Natalie. She said, "Well, was there
yeah.
anything that we missed from that round that you think
Oh,
gets us to that point?"
yeah. So I guess the timeline of that round. So it was like it was like a rotation sort of system. So there were four of us. We start off in like our pairs. So I'm chatting to Janine and Natalie's chatting to Anthea, and so me and Janine are like, let's vote for Natalie. Um, and I guess Natalie and Anthea are saying let's vote for Will. Um, and then we switch. So I go speak to Anthea, and Natalie goes and speaks to Janine. Um, and that's when Anthea tells me, like, no, for real, like, I'm voting for you. It's good. It's going to be you. Um, and then we switch again, and I go speak to Natalie, and Janine speaking to Anthea, and that's like the longest. Like that's like 10 minutes of talking. Like that's like the longest period of us talking. And Natalie is saying like she's not sure if like she's saying that Anthea essentially has has like has the deciding decision. So that is when I realized that I could push Janine as an option, and kind of really sell that me and Natalie are both in danger, and that by voting Janine, we could like at worst have a fire making challenge. That's kind of, yeah, that was kind of my thinking of at least my experience of what happened before.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
it worked. Whatever you said, whatever
Yeah.
Natalie was thinking, whatever did happen, it got you to a point to see if you're a good waiter, to see if you can stack cups
Oh
and
God. And I
plates.
was so bad. I'm not good.
You were just good enough.
Yeah.
Um,
I locked in. I think I locked in. Like I almost dropped early on, and then like it made all my plates off center, and then like from that point forward, I just like locked in.
I remember seeing the one being like super like this is your plate
Yeah.
and it's like over here. I was like, oh no, I want you to try to like push it, but I'm like, do you try pushing it, straightening out? Does it hurt? Like I was like, oh no, you might be cooked here. But you guys go pretty far. I don't think I'd be able to
Yeah,
reach as
it
tall
got
as
pretty
y'all did.
high. I was surprised that I was like I didn't remember it even getting that high like watching the challenge, because I just remember almost dropping like at the start, and then yeah,
I'm sure your adrenaline like made you black out a
it
little
was
bit, but
adrenaline.
like,
Yeah, I think
you
so.
this is the last thing you can give and like so it's one of those like do or die trying.
Yeah, and I
So
remember I could barely like react to like winning that challenge because I was just it was just such like a heart in my mouth moment. I was just like just yeah, I couldn't even react to what had happened. I was like, holy shit.
I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. You basically go into that round thinking I'm going to be out to winning
Yeah.
fire, if you will. And you're in the final three. Like that's a pretty crazy amount of emotions to run through.
Yeah. It was insane. And then you're like you have to think about, oh shit, like now I have to pitch to the jury.
Yeah, it
Um,
sinks in
yeah.
quickly that
Yeah.
you have now made it as far as you can. What
It
were
happens so fast. Like it's like 20 minutes and it just like goes like I don't know. It's just
The
yeah,
end game's crazy, especially in these
yeah.
2-day games. Like it speeds. What are you thinking when you win? Like, do you think you have a chance to win? Are you trying to calculate your thoughts? Are you trying to think of what am I gonna like sell yourself as? What's your initial thoughts?
Well, I knew that winning the challenge at 4 was like a good look for my game. I was like, oh, that was good. Um, I wasn't sure like how people were being perceived on the jury. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think that was a big thing. It's just like because you don't know if Natalie's a big threat. The jury sees her as big. If the jury sees Anthony as a big threat, so that's why I just didn't want to discount. Like, obviously, I was feeling good about my chances, but I didn't want to discount the other two's games. You know, so I was trying not to be too um, sure of my chances because I didn't want to give the wrong pitch.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, you could hear them. They're both really good speakers in this final
yeah.
three. You're asking questions. So is there any questions that like hit you sideways? You're like, oh, do they not like my game? Are they perceiving me differently? Was there anything that just like shook you maybe?
Oh, there was nothing that shook me. I Derek's question I really struggle with. So Derek asked, like, do you have anything that you'll it was like, oh, this is your last chance to kind of say something that you will regret not saying, 6 months from now or whatever. That was his kind of question. And it was too open ended for me. I needed something.
You need it direct.
Yeah, exactly. So I really struggled with Jared's question. I think I like sat there for 20 seconds when I was asked to answer it, just like processing what to say. So that one I really struggled with. The rest of them I felt pretty good about.
Was there one in
Um,
particular you're like, ha, I nailed that. I know I'm getting that vote with that answer. Like, was there
Mars,
anything you're super Mars?
Mars's question, I think I nailed. Maddie's question, I think I nailed. Yeah, because I was coming up with like I just had examples. I think that helped me. I had
Mm.
like examples prepped for my question, and like I was touching on different things for each question. Like yeah. So I think yeah, I was like molding the question to be able to fit a particular example that I could refer to, if that makes sense.
Uh, did you start practicing your pitch at any point in the game, or was that all in that time you
No,
had in between Final Four to Final Tribal?
I didn't think about the pitch like until like at all really. Um, that's what like um, the pitch when it's at the start and you just have to kind of go with the opening pitch, I found quite tough. But once you're answering questions, that comes really naturally to me, I think. And that's when I felt more comfortable, raising those examples
Mm.
and stuff. I think I think at the time I was doing like job interviews at work. Like I was like applying for a new position at work. So like that sort of coming up with the example and like justifying it and things like that was just really coming naturally to me. Um, yeah, that was good practice. If you're going on Survivor and you think you're going to get to the end, like apply for some jobs.
Survivor prep, job applying, both help each other out
Yeah.
equally. That's for sure. Um, did you have an ideal final three? And obviously you have a really pretty great final three for you, I think. But
Yeah.
is there anyone ideally you think you could have sat by?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was really happy with my final three. Um, I don't think I could have gotten a more ideal final three, honestly.
Yeah,
Like maybe there's a final three where I can win unanimously, but um, the yeah, I don't
you're
know.
like you,
I
you
was
got to
really
be
happy
happy
with
with what you got.
100%.
um, did you have you bought Natalie beer? That the people need to
Oh,
know.
I feel like me and Natalie are like we have I've definitely like paid her back for
Yes, for sure,
for
for
saving
sure.
me at the end.
I love that. The star method. We have fans of it in the
Um,
house.
yeah, I guess yeah, star method was good. Yeah, it's like the examples, right? Situation is that yeah, that's star. Situation is S.
So yeah, I'm sure you did. You highlighted your game with situations,
Yeah.
obviously. So we get Dan and Liv walking down with the votes. What's your gut
Yeah.
reaction? Do you think it's close? Do you think you win? Do you think you lose?
Um Ooh, I think I'm feeling good. It's hard to remember. I think I couldn't really believe what was happening. It was kind of, yeah. Like obviously I was like trying to win. I was like Will, like you can win this, but I still couldn't really comprehend that I was at the end like pitching and I had like a really good chance to win. That was kind of absurd to me. Um, so yeah, it definitely hadn't really sunk in.
I mean, it's a lot to digest. You
Yeah.
win. Let's see. What was your final vote count? You win. It doesn't have it on the wiki. No.
I think it was it 5-2?
5-4, 5-3, 2.
How many people were on the jury? Were eight? Maybe it was 6-2. I think it was 6-2.
Let's see. One,
Wait,
two.
no, yeah, 8 people on the jury.
Yes, 8. So 6-2. Well, that's, I mean, a pretty good win, I think. You definitely did what you had to do, and you came out victorious. That's for sure. It's definitely a problem. I'm sure you were like at the end, like, give me
Oh,
something.
no, I wanted to immediately leave. Like there was too much attention. It was, and I didn't know how to react to things. I
Or you're
remember being
not
like,
you're not
is
at
this the correct reaction? I was like,
you're like,
I
bye
don't know.
guys.
Yeah, literally. I think that's what I did.
That's so funny. I mean, it's a
It
big
was so
weekend.
late as well. I was just like, okay, cool.
How late do you reckon you ended, and how cold was it?
Oh, it
Or
wasn't
how
that cold. It
hot?
was November, so not that cold.
Okay, so how
It was
hot was it?
45 degrees. I think.
45 degrees, and you guys are sweltering at 11 o'clock at night. Oh my gosh. I know those summers down there are just
Those summer
heat
nights,
waves.
yeah. Summer.
We had to get the heat in there one more time. Oh golly, that's so
The
fun.
correct weather. Dan's gonna love that.
Exactly. He can do a post game, a post podcast correction on that weather for sure. Don't worry. Um, let's see. And I know we asked at the beginning, was there anything or you're happy with what you did?
What did I do differently? Oh, no, I had like such a good time. It was like the most fun weekend ever. So it's hard to, and like when you win, it's hard to say you do anything differently. So yeah, literally like zero regrets at all from my experience.
I love that. Let's see. Just looking to see if there's any questions that I missed throughout the time. Um, obviously, you've made lifelong friends, I'm sure, and this experience is super fun. What would you say to someone who's like on the fence about playing?
I think if you love Survivor, you should like give it a go and like just fully commit to enjoying the experience. Yeah, and I just like, you meet such amazing people and people that stick with you, 3 years into the future, and you just share this like shared love for the game, which is like, it's one of my favorite things ever, and it's probably one of the one of the favorite things ever of most of the people playing as well. So it's just really cool that you get to share that experience with them.
And Charlene has been asking, what does the community mean to you specifically? Being in this little fun group.
It's just like bonus. It's just like a bunch of bonus amazing friends. Like it's just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
really
One of
fun.
the best things I've ever done for sure.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
2 days out of your weekend, however many years ago, and here we are still talking about it. Not for much longer, but we're still talking about it. Oh, is there anything else that you want to highlight? What was the biggest lesson that
Biggest
this weekend
lesson
taught you?
Survivor taught me. Oh my God, these are such hard questions.
You can thank your friends and family.
I think it's like just like back yourself, like I think that's a big lesson. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so. I think that's like put
yeah,
full faith in yourself and try it. Do it.
yeah,
That's so cool.
exactly. That sort of
So
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? We've talked for longer than you expected, I'm sure.
I was thinking like 20-minute sort of situation.
And when are you going whale watching?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we need to actually do the whale watching.
It's on your next calendar. Don't
It'll
worry.
happen. It'll happen. I love whales are my favorite animals, and I've never been whale watching. Did see some whales like a few months ago
Have
in
fun.
Jervis Bay. That was very cool. They were like flipping around. I think that was the first time I actually saw whales. But,
Hey, there we go. Now you just need to do a proper time.
yeah.
Your season giving you love here. Charlene will take you whale watching. Oh, Kat, not you. You're not invited.
Not invited. Okay. Not allowed. That's fair.
Live stream is for fans of Kat.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'll join the live stream. I'll just watch it via live stream.
exactly. Oh gosh. Well, this has been so fun. I've enjoyed watching your season, seeing you as a winner blossom through the season here. And I'd like to say I had you as a winner pick very early, so we're excited for that.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciated your belief throughout the season.
Oh, of course. I would never, try to purple edit you at all. Oh yes. But this has been so fun. I know it's your Monday night, so we'll let you get a little bit of, off the screen time.
All right.
But this has been so fun, and Will, the winner of season 4, you'll always have that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and thanks for like all the work you've done with the podcast and everyone else on the podcast. Like, loved listening to you.
Oh, it's been so fun. You guys have made it far
awesome.
too easy for us, so it's been a good time. But yes, we've enjoyed talking about you. So yes, if there's nothing more, we've got more content for you, so don't worry. But I can let Will go and enjoy the rest of his evening. Thank you. I can kick you from the screen, so say your
Right.
byes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, thank you, Will, for coming on in and talking with us. But don't you worry yet. You thought we were done? I know I've been talking a long time, but we've got a special surprise for you. Zach, one of our podcasters here on the Backbenchers, thought it'd be a great idea to kind of pick the brains of the people who run this. And we get a sit down interview with Dan and Liv and hear about their thoughts on season 4. So I'm just going to get that set up here. I believe it's going to be this one. And we're going to hear from Zach, Dan, and Liv on season 4 of Canberra Mount Mandurah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Coming to you not live from last Thursday. I have Liv and Dan here to talk all things Survivor Canberra season 4. How are you guys feeling? Now that it's over and it's, everything's kind of wrapped up, how are you feeling about the season?
I'm personally quite relieved.
Me too.
I mean, the season was a lot of fun, and like I love the players, I love the season itself, but like the editing process for season 4 was like such a big task for me. The audio, obviously we had mics for every player, so like syncing all that audio up. We had an extra episode than we normally do, so relieved that it's done, relieved that it's out there, and happy with how everything went though.
Yeah, Zach, thanks so much for having us on the podcast. And look, I don't know if you know this, but Dan does every single little bit of editing. I don't do any.
Well, one challenge. I didn't do one
challenge. Okay, one challenge.
Yeah.
But
Shout
basically,
out to Tyler.
Tyler.
Yeah.
But basically, all of the editing, I don't have anything to do with any of that. So, as you can imagine, once the season's sort of done and dusted, it is a huge work. And I think a fantastic season. Like, you should be so proud of it. It was amazing, but it was also a pretty big season.
Yeah.
Season 4, we had 2 more players, as Dan said. Everyone was sort of mic'd up, and it was it just kind of got bigger than it seemed like it was a bit bigger than season 3 even.
Yeah, natural progression of things. I think like we're always looking to improve things. Improve the camera quality and the audio quality, and that also means it's more work as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as things evolve, right, they get bigger by nature, I guess. Were there any particular big changes that you feel like season 4 had that the others didn't?
Well, definitely the mics were a new addition. We didn't have those in the previous seasons, and I think like that just increased the amount of footage that we could show. I mean, I was saying to someone that sometimes it's the footage that you're showing is just the footage that has like audio that you can hear.
Yeah.
Whereas like now that it's picking up all of the audio from all of the footage, like you're actually like, able to choose and procure so much more of the content. Which, I mean, it was more of a creative process for me in that sense, which I really enjoyed. But again, it was more work because it was more to go through at the same time.
Yeah, I guess you get to kind of get all those juicy little bits you didn't before, and you can kind of tell the different narratives and stories that you want to tell. So I want to break things down a little bit and start back at the start in casting, right? So season 4, take you all the way back there. Season 4, I guess you decided on 6 returnees. How did you go about selecting those players? Was it about, narratives that weren't finished? What qualities were you looking for? Like, it must have been a pretty tricky process.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. It was so long ago. So it's sort of like, okay, going back to that process.
Yeah.
I think it was about players who wanted to return. That was key. I think it was about players who maybe we felt like, or they felt like, they sort of had maybe a little bit more to give potentially, and they were just sort of, their stories were cut short because of, maybe a bit of bad luck, or maybe things just not quite going their way, and you could see some potential in the way that they played, and it sort of felt like giving them a second chance, kind of, that they could go a bit further and sort of show us a little bit more, I suppose.
Yeah, like you look at some like specific examples, like Rose, for example, was swap screwed. Like Hayley had an injury, Maddie was swap screwed, Anthea had like an unfortunate idol situation. So like it was sort of like a common theme of like these people that, got a bit unlucky or something happened, and they had a lot more potential and a lot more to give.
Aston went out by some bloke that, we won't talk about.
Blonde Jesus.
But
you could all, like, even Aston, like you could see like there was so much more game within like, played so hard in those first few episodes, swung votes when they didn't need to be swung, and it was like such like fun gameplay to start off the whole franchise, that it was just like as soon as he got voted out early, it was like we need him back in some degree. So this felt like the perfect season for it, for sure.
Yeah, I guess like you said, they're all pre-merge, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it kind of gives like the, they've kind of just got their foot in the door, but they haven't fully got to experience the game. So watching like sticking on these 6, did any returnee particularly surprise you by the way that they played? Did you feel like some played really different to how you would expect?
Well, there was 7, but I will say there was actually originally 8. We actually had 10 newbies and 8 returnees originally, and then we had one person pull out. So that just explains the uneven sort of numbers. Like the 11 and 7 was a little bit random, and I think for the players it was a little bit random. Like you can see in the episodes, but they were saying like, why is there like 7 returnees and 11 newbies? They thought that was really weird. But it was the last minute withdrawal from a player. But to your question, I think Maddie really surprised me. I think like we saw potentially Maddie on season 3. This is answering for myself. And she got swap screwed, and there was always like this inkling that she had a lot more to give. I wasn't expecting like her to come in and play so hard, and be like so on the front foot and be so, I guess, chaotic, for lack of a better term. Because we didn't really like, we saw like parts of that maybe in season 3, but she really took it to this next level in season 4, and she was so fun to watch. She was really fun to edit as well, because she was always doing something. Like she was always just giving something a red hot go, whether it was like the desperation station or
her desperation station is one of my favorite scenes in this season. Thank you for the content.
She really gives the content, doesn't she? I think she was one for me watching her that I was rooting for her really hard in season 3, and similar. I was like, oh no, but like I didn't realize how much chaos she could actually bring. Like I feel like it was a different player once she kind of got into that later stage of the game. It really just shows like how I don't know, I mean, maybe you're looking at each other like you seem like you saw that same player, but I feel like I saw a different level of that.
I kind of love that. Like if she hadn't come back to play, we kind of wouldn't have got that.
No.
We got that, which is obvious. But, what a great kind of thing that we were able to kind of bring that out. And it was fantastic to watch. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. It also goes to like show like how different people respond to like a second chance as well. Because she sort of like took so much pressure in getting to the merge and surviving and wanting to do well and getting past the swap and things like that, that she put so much pressure on herself that it sort of turned into like paranoia and then into chaos. Whereas like some other people really responded to it differently. And I think like that's kind of the themes that we were trying to explore. And she sort of like personified that to a really extreme degree in some way.
Yeah, I think I remember. Oh yeah, go Zach, sorry.
No, I was just saying, I feel like a lot of the there was a lot of themes from the returnees of that hurt and that drive and that kind of the difficulty to even say yes to come back again, right? So it's really it was really exciting to see all of those players kind of make various different stages of the game and process that in different ways.
Yeah, and it puts, it's a vulnerable position to be in. Like I could only imagine, like I've never played Survivor. And I could only imagine when, you haven't done so well. I mean, it'd be hard not to put, that pressure onto yourself. But I think all of the returnees, poor Rose, she sticks out in my mind as having gone out the same way in both seasons. But I think all the returnees did like so fantastically. Their stories were amazing. And
it's one thing that like I didn't really think about because again, like we haven't played, so like the baggage that like players bring from their season into their returnee season, it's really like it does weigh on their mind. And like Maddie or like Rose or Anthea at a swap and them being in similar situations or whatever, that sort of like affected their gameplay as well. And I think that for me, editing this season, that was really fun to explore. That side of things, I guess.
Was there a player that surprised you the most over the course of the season, like of all of the players?
Ooh, that's a good question. Of all the players,
someone that sticks out for me the most, and I've always loved watching players who don't know Survivor at all.
Yes.
Don't even really know, like they come into the weekend like of Survivor Canberra not even really knowing what the format is. Which is phenomenal. And then they just are so innately, like they just have it in them. It's just this like organic thing. And one of those people for me is Mushy. She was just somebody who, like, I'm right, she wasn't a Survivor fan.
I think she knew a little
Survivor.
bit, but not a Survivor fan.
Yeah. And she just came in and sort of, I guess just the way that she was able to navigate her way through pretty sticky situations, and she had her back to the wall a lot of the time. And she was just amazing to watch.
She was the crew was rooting for throughout the season because everyone loves an underdog, right? And like when she won that individual immunity to start day 2, because we'd seen a journey on day 1 that everyone was just so invested in, and then day 2 when she won that immunity, like people were like cheering like nothing else. It was that was a really cool moment. That's a good shout. I think that's probably my answer too. Because like someone that's quiet like her, I think there was a few concerns that she would be like an easy early moot. And someone that doesn't know Survivor to the same degree as other people, there were those concerns that she could be an early boot. And I think we said that in our like preseason podcast that we did. So to like divert those expectations and to like, have this underdog run was so fun to watch. And she's great.
And what a kind of good parallel to what we just spoke about, where it's kind of like the less you know, the better sometimes in a way, because you've got these people returning who with potentially have so much baggage and they know so much about it and they know what they should be doing and, I should be making that move or blah, blah, blah. And then you have someone sort of coming and going, I'm just going to sort of, I just kind of understand how this needs to go and play instinctually and sort of, it was really amazing. I mean, it's so hard to pick someone out. Of course, because we love them all. But that's someone that comes to mind.
yes, it doesn't negate the stories of every other person. It's just, what was one that was like just a surprise. But you're right. I feel like, that's the fun part about LRGs as well, is that sometimes people can step in last minute, or it can be a friend's mum or somebody who kind of comes in and plays for just the experience, right? And I think you see different characters over the season four, I feel like, really telling us that they're playing for different reasons, and it doesn't always have to be about being the sole survivor. It can just be about putting yourself out there. So it's really cool to see the variety in the cast. I really enjoyed the different personalities. So well done on the casting of the season. Turning over to, I guess, the hosting. What was your favorite moments of hosting it over the entire season? Maybe not necessarily for the viewers, but for you guys as hosts.
Yeah, we were sort of saying again when we were talking before, it's during the weekend, like I have no idea what's going on in the game. Like we don't see anything.
Yeah.
And like I don't do any of the editing. So like I'm seeing the finished product, I'm watching live with everyone else, I mean, I obviously know who wins, but in a way you're kind of like, oh, how did that person get there? Like, because we just don't see anything apart from 10 minutes of challenge and, the 10 minutes of chaos at tribal council that often doesn't give us, much information. So yeah, our experience, or my experience anyway, of the weekend is really different to the players.
Yeah.
One of the things that stands out for me in season 4 as something that I thought was amazing, and you might need to fill in some gaps because I don't know exactly how this sort of like exactly came about, but we had a Survivor Canberra fan, Chase, come and actually, so his dad reached out to you, Dan, is that right?
Yeah, he messaged the Survivor Canberra account on Facebook, and he said, my son's a really big Survivor fan. I know like your season is coming up, like it's filming soon. I was like, is there any chance that like he could come out and like watch it, like, watch the process or watch the filming? And I was like, yeah, sure, like absolutely. He was like 12 at the time. He'll probably watch this actually.
Yeah.
So shout out to Chase.
Shout out to
And
he came out with all of his buffs on, and it was just a lovely kind of moment where you go, yeah, this is bigger than, this affects a lot of people, and this is a community that people sort of love and is so inclusive. And yeah, that was just
I remember asking his dad who his favorite player was, and he said it was Michael from season 2, and I was like, oh, he's not going to be there. But I've got other people. And because I think he had just watched season 2 at the time.
Okay.
And then so his dad ended up saying, oh, he'll be happy to meet anyone from season 2. So we got the final 3 of season 2, which was Mar, Nick, and Sophie, to take a photo with them. He did a confessional with Natalie, like one of her early confessionals.
That's so
day one, which was really nice.
Lovely.
The one thing that I remember about it is that his dad actually came in. It was actually during the second challenge. I remember the water buckets being set up, and his dad came in and was like, oh, I'm so-and-so, I'm Chase's dad. But Chase doesn't want to like come in because he doesn't want to like interrupt the filming. So he's like waiting for someone to like make sure it's okay for him to come up, because he was just so like aware of like it's a film set, like he doesn't want to interrupt or do anything. So I was like, oh, what a legend. What a cool guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like a real core memory from sort of, I guess, the behind the scenes of that season. Do you have any behind the scenes? Because I have an in scene favorite moment.
Yeah, behind the scenes. I mean, I guess my 2 is that first vote with when Jasmine went home. It was really funny because our final words probably look a little bit funny on camera because we say something like, oh, we didn't see that coming, or because like all of the chat from like the camp was, oh, it's going to be mushy. And then the whole tribal council, people were like openly talking about mushy and her failing the puzzle. And that was, the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And then when we went up to read the votes, there was no votes for mushy. And we were like, what is happening? This is like blindsided us.
Yeah.
Like,
that happens more than it should.
Yeah, more than it probably should. And then the other one is that obviously we pre-planned all the twists as you do. And we knew that twist coming up where the individual immunity winner gives immunity to the other tribe.
Right.
And so the blue tribe won immunity, and then Will won the individual immunity. And as soon as that happened, we were like, he's going to give it to Mushy. Like, this is going to be so great. And we were just waiting for it to happen. The whole crew was like, oh my God, it's going to happen. She was going to go home and she's about to be safe. And then like, so when it actually did happen, we're just like, we knew it was going to happen, obviously, but it was still so fun to watch live. And then to see the looks on the Buru tribe's face and just, you know, them freaking out. And then the tie, and then the tie again. That was just really, one of those like moments on an LRG crew set where it's like just that electric feeling that's going through.
Yeah.
You know,
and
something
you can, like,
fun's going to
hear
happen.
the whisk, like you can hear the
The chirps of the birds.
and the, quiet on set. My favorite moment is like from in scene, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it is when Derek, it's the first time Derek, he wins individual immunity, and the tribal council is just chaos behind him. The double, sorry. Yeah. And he's sitting in the middle of everybody with this beautiful necklace, just like so calmly. And everyone is like animals behind him, like, you know, scratching at each other. It just reminds me of that Mean Girls scene where Regina George is like standing at the top of the stairs and just watching everybody in the crowd like eat themselves alive, and Derek's just like, I'm pretty good here. It's just like sitting there just watching that happen right in front of me. It just lives in my head, and it's just a really good scene in my head.
Yeah. I mean, that's they're those payoffs, right? They're those electric feels, like you said, that you can't write, but it just kind of happens. You talked a little bit, Dan, about being blindsided by that first vote where Jasmine went home. Was there any other kind of major kind of blindsides or ways that someone kind of used a twist or used an advantage that you guys were like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think that could happen? Or
well, we didn't see the Jordan vote coming either. That was a surprise for us because we just saw like the post-swap was, you know, very down tribal lines. And then the Reds had the majority going into day 2. So we had like no idea that Maddie and Janine were flipping that vote.
Yeah.
And there was not much indication of it in the tribal council. And then so when we went again to the urn to read the votes, like the Jordan vote just, I think, really surprised me.
I mean,
at least.
that happens to be more often than not. I'm surprised by the vote.
But I think more often than not, we know
Do you reckon?
the vote. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Maybe not you.
I don't know. Yeah. No, true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So sometimes hindsight and sometimes not. Yeah. I mean, like, I guess, like, how much information do you guys know going in? Like, does the team give you a bit of an understanding of where the whispers are, or do you like to go in blind, or like, how did you prefer to do it?
We generally get a little bit of information because we try to, but there's obviously, particularly when there's 2 separate tribes, like, and there's 2 people giving you information, because obviously we have sort of tribe leaders, and then there's people doing confessionals and stuff, so there's lots of crew and stuff around the tribes all the time. But as you can imagine, like, it's quick. They don't have very much time, and so there's so much, you know, there's so much sort of going on and names being thrown and things. So sometimes when we get information, it's
from one perspective.
From one perspective, it's not necessarily the way that the thing is going to go. I think we've like waxed and waned between, should we just go in blind or should we get information? It depends on where you are in the game, sort of how things are going.
Yeah, I think we like are on the side of less information because like, I think we've discussed this, like we sort of treat tribal council as like a, you know, like we're detectives trying to like figure out the information, because I think our questions and the tribal council is better, like when we're trying to figure out what's going on rather than we just know what's going on and we're like running through the motions a little bit.
Yeah, if we're legitimately asking a question like, what is happening?
Yeah, I think there was a time in season 4 where, we may have known, I can't remember, but we were asking Anthea like about the idol situation, and Anthea said, there's a nexus of power. And we were like, and like, what is the nexus of power?
Yeah.
And then he's like, like everyone knows what it is, and we're like, yeah, but we don't know.
Yeah.
So please tell us.
Yeah.
I don't think we did know.
I definitely did know. I can tell you that.
I may have known.
Yeah,
you
you probably knew.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like that's the exciting part, right? I love hearing about the philosophy of how you take the approach to tribals, because I think sometimes players can forget it's a pivotal part of the game, right? People still play a game at tribal, whether or not it's some people go, okay, I'm going to give the host everything and just tell them the information, and others you can see they really use it and they shape a narrative and they don't want to give up information. So I imagine it must be interesting for you guys to feel that push and pull, and I guess if you know too much, it might be harder for you to ask the questions that like, okay, Zach does have an idol, but I don't really want to ask him, Zach, have you heard of any idols in the game? Because maybe that, like overthink it. So I like that you've kind of got that dual approach.
Yeah, it's hard for us to like stuff up at tribal and like give out information that shouldn't be let out if we don't know anything.
Yeah.
So like, we could say like, oh, Zach, you have an idol. And then everyone's like, we didn't know that. I mean,
yeah.
But like, that could happen if we knew too much and then forgot who knew what sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because Natalie's idols were both public idols anyway, but like,
Yeah, and I think it's such a good point you make, Zach. Like, I think for me anyway, tribal council is a time where people should be like, I almost sometimes get frustrated when they're not giving us information.
Yeah.
Like, this is good for you as well as a player. So it's kind of, one of those funny things.
Yeah. It must be a hard part of the job, but fun at the same time.
Kind of, I find it quite difficult.
It is. I think earlier it's more difficult when like players are cagey and they're nervous and they don't want to say anything because like if they say anything, then it can be the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It definitely like loosens up in time as the weekend progresses.
And as everyone's delirium starts to set in.
But it's definitely hard to like ask those questions that will get the players to let their guard down, or try and let their guard down to like get some content, get some like juicy tribal moments wants to watch. But then the players being like, I'm just not going to say anything.
Yeah.
So that is hard.
Was there a hard part about was there a part that you had to pretend you didn't know something that like you knew?
I mean, we knew that Will was going to give it Mushy the immunity. So
so pretending not to know that was...
Pretending not to know that, yeah. But I don't think that was hard. We were just kind of like, all right, let's just get to it, because we sort of knew that like everyone was voting for Mushy. And we were like, okay, let's just yada yada through these questions. Get to the good part. No.
Yeah.
But nothing, I honestly can't think of a moment where I've been like nervous about not saying information. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly can't think of that at all.
You're just too good at your job. So was there a moment?
The less you know, the better.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a perspective, right? Was there a moment? What was the biggest moment that you got from the crew? Like, you guys are obviously there, but there's people standing behind the camera. It sounds like the Mushy necklace was a big moment for the crew. Was there any other like major moments where you felt that electricity from the people around you?
It's sort of hard, like, kind of going back there and trying to think of those moments. I mean, certainly there are some, but like a lot of the votes that you don't see going in a certain way, it definitely gets people, chattering. I'm trying to think if there was like maybe a challenge that
definitely Mushy winning immunity at Merge. I think I mentioned that was definitely like there was a current of excitement through the crew. I would say the second vote at Gula was quite fun to watch as well, because there was like 3 different plans. There was the Mushy plan, the Simon plan, and then the Natalie plan coming over the top at the end. That was really fun. And then also like Ben, just every time like we chatted with him, we had so much fun hosting him. He was he always gave something, which was always great as a host. And he just seemed like he was like enjoying himself, like legitimately enjoying himself. And it's like, for me, like specifically watching someone like go full pelt and just like looking like they're having a lot of fun is like the best thing about
so
rewarding. You a lot of energy.
Yeah, definitely a lot of energy. Yeah, and him like with the fake idol post swap, and that plan like could have easily been pulled off. Like that was really fun, and then disappointing because it didn't come off.
Yeah. But you know, it still makes for good TV even when they're not pulled off, right? I was like on the edge of my seat. Is that what's going to happen?
Well, we just didn't know how it was going to go, and there were so many votes like that. And the final 7 vote with the Derek plan that could have easily been a Derek blind as well. And we just didn't know how it was going to go. So again, that as you said, like that's also exciting in its own way too.
Yeah. Especially, some of those final episodes, like I was on the edge of my seat. Is Anthea going to give up her idol to Brie and all of those types of things, So even when plans don't come to fruition, it's still exciting that you had so many cast members that were at least willing to entertain and give you content on different plans, right? So maybe now focusing more on the twists and the challenges of the season, I feel like one thing that stood out to me, what were the twists? What was your philosophy when you were kind of designing, I guess, the twists for Survivor Canberra?
Yeah, we were talking about this before because like a big thing in LRGs that Zach, is that there's not much time, obviously, to strategize. But then there's also not much time when you're swap screwed or you're just in the minority at merge or anything like that. And it was kind of like an issue that we're trying to solve.
Yeah.
What can we do to help those players that just have no other avenue, have not much time because we just don't have much time in the day? And Shot in the Dark was one thing that was mentioned. And Shot in the Dark is a great avenue for people that don't have anything else left. But for me, I just don't like the randomness of the Shot in the Dark. Like it doesn't feel overly earned. Like they picked a scroll and they've just happened to pick the right scroll. So it came from like, solving this issue, but like maybe in a different way than Shot in the Dark that feels more earned. So then doing a challenge to earn the safety obviously is so much more satisfying in my eyes. So that's where the desperation station came in. And then it was like how mechanics around it. So we came up with the totem. So you've got 10 minutes. Again, like if you're feeling desperate, you can grab this totem and then go and do this challenge. And then Eden and I sort of had to figure out how do all the challenges, how are they fair, but have the same amount of difficulty, but aren't too easy that like it's just a gimme. I think we thought it was probably going to be a little bit easier than what it was, but it worked out in the end because like it felt really earned when Brie actually was the one to solve it. And obviously she's great at puzzles and whatnot, but it being so hard felt really, really satisfying when it did get solved as well.
Yeah. I told you it's possible.
yeah, exactly. Like we underrated, like, with the time pressure and the pressure of being in the game, like how hard it was going to be. Because like, to me, I didn't think it was that hard a puzzle. It's just like a relatively simple logic puzzle. But when you add like the layers on top of it, it does become a lot harder. So that was our solution to a problem that we felt like we were having. Like when you think of like James in season 2, like he had no hope. Like he pulled a sock off the ground and that was like his Hail Mary. But what if he had something else? What if he had like a Shot in the Dark type of situation where he could go and do a challenge? He knew he was going to go. If he couldn't, do the challenge and do it successfully, what would happen? Like if we had something like that, and then so that Desperation Station was born.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really, like you said, I understand that like maybe the Shot in the Dark doesn't feel earned, so to feel something kind of solve that problem. But I think it's always so interesting that when you introduce a new mechanic, it creates so many different opportunities as well, right? And different play styles. Like we see Brie later in the season hold totem hostage. I can't imagine that was something that you considered well, I don't know. Did you? Right. There's different.
No. Like again, going back to, we just thought like people that were really desperate, that thought they were going to go home, would go to the Desperation Station, that either win it or not. Like, but as it happens with things like this. There's definitely like innovations that come with it.
Yeah.
Like Bree holding the totem hostum was like such a great innovation. And then even just like the threat of going to the desperation station itself. The defensive thing, I think, was one thing that we did think about, where Anthea used it defensively so other people wouldn't go. But even Janine, like playing it on the second, you know, bluffing that she was played on the first vote and then played on the second, like that is so clever. Like what a genius move by Janine. So all these different ways of playing around this twist is like what makes Survivor so cool, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess the fact that only one person can go is a different, you know, mechanic for that, and the fact that they had to choose 10 minutes only after 10 minutes back at camp rather than playing it at the time. Like they had to have some insight or some knowledge. So I feel like it really was Survivor Canberra's own, you know, which I feel like makes something really special when you can be like, yeah, this is our mechanic. This is something we created. And I feel like it really, it shaped the course of the season, which was super exciting. So also something that was difficult for players, reportedly from them, was the idol clues on the flags. That was really cool. I guess a twist, and I mean I feel like that's when you're trying to solve. I totally understand what you're saying when you say in LRGs there's not enough time, so you need to point players in directions, right? We don't have time to kind of start running off and searching for idols unless it's really, really important. So talk to me about like how you designed the flag, kind of the flag twist and I guess the idols of the season.
I think we found that like often idols hidden at camp do not get found. And that was pretty evident in the two pre-merge idols. I mean, you still want to have some idols at camp, so there's a risk of it always being found, which we wanted to do. But like hiding a lot more idols at challenges or tribal or, you know, whatever else. I think that's something that we're trying to do more because they're the ones that are more likely to be found. And like the point of idols in the game is that they're found, because what's the point of having them in the game anyway?
Also love a little bit of stress around finding that.
Right. It incentivizes blind sides too in the gameplay, right? You always have to, if they're at camps or if they're in challenges, you never know when someone's going to get an idol, which creates that tension that you want, right?
Yeah, and one thing I wasn't expecting, like how brazen Natalie was, like walking up to that and grabbing it. Because in my mind, it was like, I don't know if you've seen much of South African Survivor.
Not too much.
So there was an idol on I believe the podium. And then so that sort of remained there until they needed to play it. So I think like we sort of expected a little bit more caginess around grabbing it, but like Natalie just like going full tail right up to it. We were like, oh, okay. Yeah, it really is a foot race, I guess. So things like that, like you just don't expect it. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, and like different ways of watching it, being like, oh, you know, is that the right move? Is it not? Like different people play in different ways, right? It's nice to have people play in a way that doesn't always match with what you design as a host. And you're like, oh, cool, that was not something that I thought would happen.
Yeah, and I also thought like the original clue, which was like the every second letter on the back of the welcome note, I thought that was also going to be pretty simple. Which like, again, when you add stress to it, and like, I guess because we haven't played, you sort of forget the stress and the paranoia, like things aren't as simple as they usually are. And even like Anthea figured out the clue right away. She just looked in she didn't look in the one place that the idol was at that gate. She was searching everywhere around it. And I'm watching the footage, still thinking she might find it, even though I know she doesn't find it.
Yeah.
Because she's literally right next to it. Like she's here, the idol's here. And I'm like, Andy, I just go 30 centimeters that way.
I know.
So you can't always, you know, have twists and advantages work, but, you know, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So you just got to take that risk.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the fun part about designing the game, right? You know, you've got to see what they can work with, and you never know how many are going to be left and what's going to be there. So then maybe looking at challenges a bit more, what do you feel like was the standout challenge for you? Not as in the players playing it, but what one were you like, oh, I'm so glad we have this challenge on season 4?
I think I liked a lot of the challenges in season 4. For some reason, in my mind, I don't know what we called it. The ball one.
It's like dinner.
Lunch. We were calling it paddle out.
Paddle out.
Yeah.
Mainly because we just say balls a lot. So it made me laugh. There's something about that challenge, the vibe in that challenge. I don't know. It was fun to host because I think, again, you don't see obviously the whole challenge. It went for quite a while. Then you don't see it all, like, you know, when the episode airs. But it was, I don't know, it was a fun challenge. Everyone was it was fun to commentate.
Mm-hmm.
It's one that stands out to me as being, a really fun challenge in that season. I also like the slingshot challenge because I just like the slingshots, even though it didn't go so well. What was the other one we were talking about earlier?
Oh, the Bo Diddley?
Oh, the Bo Diddley. Yeah, we also like Bo Diddley. So endurance challenges are quite popular. But maybe as hosting, that's quite easy to commentate.
What do you mean by Bo Diddley?
So Bo Diddley is the one with like a half circle and just resting on top.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely like the challenges where you can see the players' personalities coming out. And I think with that merge challenge with the balls rolling down with the paddles, like, because there was a lot of like just them rolling balls, like the personalities were sort of coming out as well.
Yes.
I mean, at least us commentating it live, like Maddie was, you know, going all over the place with her paddle.
And she was talking quite a bit to us.
And she was talking and Jordan screaming and swearing at his paddle. And yeah, so those are the challenges that are really fun to me.
What about when we separated?
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, that was really strange.
Weird.
I didn't enjoy that much. No.
Did not enjoy that.
As in when
I felt during the whole
when one of you's at grasslands and when one of you's at yeah,
because you get so used to like being together and like being able to like riff off each other that when you're alone, it's like, oh, what do I do with my hands? That was really strange. Yeah.
Where's my emotional support host?
Exactly.
Literally.
Yeah. But I like the Bo Diddley as well. Like I like the endurance challenges where it comes down to like who's got the most concentration and who's just willing to like give it their all. As well. I think they're really fun to watch.
Yes.
And I did really, I mean, apart from you not being there, I really did enjoy that battleback challenge that Hayley won because, I mean, you saw a snippet of Ben's antics in that challenge, but that went on for so long, like him just talking nonstop. I think I just stopped commentating at one point because Ben was just talking and I was like, go for it. Him and Simon just started singing and, you know, watching Hayley and Jasmine having to deal with those two idiots just like.
That's so good.
Challenges amount of time.
They were both quite long. Yes.
Yeah. So you had that one challenge that didn't particularly go to plan. How did you adapt in the moment? You know, like it's a live set, right? You don't have time to think, you know, there's a lot of thinking on your feet and backup plans. Like how did you adapt and you've had to pivot to a challenge that maybe wasn't going where you thought it was going to go?
Yeah. Do you remember much about it?
Like, I don't remember how long it took to.
I do remember like trying to get it to work for a bit because we're like, we'll just go back in, like it'll be fine. Like there's people that were ahead, so we didn't want to, you know, like stuff them up and reset completely if we didn't have to. But it just got to a point where it just wasn't feasible. So then the call was made to end the challenge, and then we just thought, okay, like what's a tiebreaker that we can do? And we obviously had the tiles ready to go. So, you know, we just made up another word. And we didn't expect Brie to solve it that quickly because I don't think anyone else would have. But it was probably good that it was solved quickly because we took so long with trying to fix that other challenge and get it to work. And then obviously it ended up not working. But it's like that on an LRG set, isn't it? Like things go wrong. You just have to like come up with things on the fly, and you have so many people around, like, you know, you lean on people like Keegan, who was our director, that is such a cool head in those situations, and Malcolm, obviously, who does most of our challenges.
Shout out to Mel there.
Shout out to Mal, and he's amazing, and he always has solutions to problems, and you know, is also a really cool head under pressure. So you know, we have discussions and we'll talk through it as we're going, you know, with each other and with people like that, to come up with solutions and to
come up with something as fair as you can. Because it is hard, and like, you know, people feel hard done by, like, as in the players, and so you want to make it as fair as possible. And I think you did, like, that happened really well. Like, do the best you can.
Oh, for sure. And I think that, you know, shout out to you, Dan, but the editing of that and using that moment to be like, hey, let's highlight our community and let's highlight these people that are behind the scenes is a really, really cool way of showing, like, we're just big fans of the show, you know. We're just here because we wanted to make a community project, and it really shows, you know, you can get so drawn in as an audience member and a player, and to remind us that, you know, we don't have all those resources, and we've got a team who's just so dedicated. And I really loved watching Keegan come in as a little army man, you know, trying to fix the set, and Mal off on the screen. And I just really, I thought it was a really cool way of you know, showing a part of LIGs that we don't always get to see highlighted, and the people behind it and how we have to adapt. So again, it's not something that I feel like we always get to see in the real show. So it just speaks to, I don't know, the dedication of your crew and the creative way that you can go around fixing it. So I really enjoyed it. I know it probably was.
Yeah.
I think I was dreading doing that challenge because obviously I knew that things didn't go to plan, and like I always think things to go to plan and things to go well, as you would. But at the end of the day, like, we're all just, you know, people trying to make this thing happen. None of us professionals and whatnot. But I think, like, Mel did feel really bad about that challenge, and part of me feeling bad about that challenge was how bad he felt about it, because he felt like he had failed and he had let people down, and that made me feel awful. So, like, I hope that he sees the success that he had in all the other challenges and how much work that he puts into Survivor Canberra and all the challenges, and, you know, doesn't dwell on the negative. And, you know, I was just trying to focus on how much work he puts in and how amazing he does with everything. And that challenge was so cool too. Like, I love that challenge.
Amazing.
And as I said, I think in the edit, like, I said to Mal the next season, can we try it again? And, you know, he was really brave. Like, he could have easily been like, no, it fucked up the first time. Like, we're not doing this again. But he was really brave and said, yeah, let's try it again. And it worked really well. So I'm glad we stuck to it.
And one of the other things I love seeing is when the challenges end, and, you know, the contestants go back and start their politics and stuff, and then all the other sort of crew and stuff that are just kind of hanging around, they go in and try the challenge. And it's like fun to watch everybody having fun with these challenges that people and Mal have put so much time and effort into, and seeing people kind of like have fun and how they go, and they do it really seriously, like they time themselves, and like that's a really fun part of it as well. So yeah, and I thought the challenges this season were awesome.
I think it's like, it speaks to the, like, that bigger than just the product, right? Like, it's those moments that you really that stick out to me in an LRG setting of seeing everybody, you know, like, I won't know the names and the contributions of some of those people behind the scenes, but you do, and you've seen their enjoyment of the games and their enjoyment of the season, and talking to people behind the scenes being like, oh, I think this person's going to win. No, is this person going to win? You know, like, and having all of that kind of excitement just in it. It's just something that you can't really recreate without being on an LRG set, I feel.
Yeah, it's such a moment in time, isn't it? And like, it's one of those feelings like you can't replicate, and it feels like a dream sequence when you're in it. But
you can't replicate, and you can't explain.
No.
To people who aren't there.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's so much fun, and I think that's why we have done it for 6 seasons now. Even though it is a lot of work and, you know, a lot of stress and whatnot, but, you know, filming and being around the people that also are working towards this common goal, like, great feeling.
Yeah, so cool. And that, I guess, takes us to the editing of it all. I know, Dan, you do it. Yeah, Liv has tried to spoken. I guess from your perspective, was there a storyline that evolved like really differently in the edit, how compared to how you felt like it did while filming?
Differently, maybe not so much differently, but one storyline that I really, really enjoyed was just the Will and Anthea storyline. I really enjoyed doing that storyline as a whole, like the whole journey and how it culminated from them putting their hands together, and then then Anthea wanting to like turn on Will at the end, and then them ended up being at the final 3 together, and then Will winning over Anthea, and it was such a close battle in the end. I really just enjoyed that storyline as a whole. And again, going back to those things that we don't see on the weekend, like all those little things that we don't see, like Will getting emotional about Anthea maybe not getting as much respect as she might deserve in the end because she's an older woman, not that old, mind you. Like all those little things that just made the storyline really special to edit. And then Anthea getting so cutthroat in the end because she's such a lovely person in real life, and obviously she still seems lovely on the show, but her getting really cutthroat in the end was like so fun to watch. And, seeing her portray this close ally and the sweetest man on earth like, was clearly so hard for her, but she was like locked in and playing so well that she just knew what she had to do.
Clear eyes,
cold heart. She knew what she had to do. Like her path was clear to the end. And to win, I think.
And that was kind of what she said she wanted to correct. She was correcting some of her wrongs, kind of things. So kind of was such a beautiful. You did such a good job with editing. I loved watching their story as well.
Yeah, their story was really fun to do. I think like I don't think necessarily anything surprised me other than, I don't know, just the little things really that you just don't see on the weekend. Like just how chaotic Maddie was. Like, like you hear stories from crew afterwards, but like you really just can't get the full experience until you start watching the footage. Just some of the things that she did was so funny.
I mean, maybe not just with Maddie, but others like that you kind of. Are there times where you go, oh, I wish I could put that in, but I just can't, or it doesn't quite fit, or?
Yeah, there definitely were like confessionals or little things that you go, oh, that was like, if someone's done like a really good confession, they probably think that in the moment. And it was. It's not like it wasn't a great confessional. It could have easily been included if like the story was a little bit different, or if it just was more relevant to what was going on. Definitely. There's so many times like that, which it's hard putting things on the cutting room floor that are really good content, and they've obviously like put a lot of effort into weaving this narrative into their confessional or whatever. But there's only so much you can show for sure.
Was there a best moment from season 4 that didn't make the edit? Like anything that pops up to you, like a particular confessional or a moment that wasn't really relevant but was really funny to you, sitting in the editing chair just laughing to yourself?
There was definitely one, and I think maybe Brie mentioned this, but she had a really good analogy with a flock of parrots on a tree that she was relating to the tribe.
Right.
And it's hard to explain if you don't see it, but she did really well, and like it was really funny. But there just was not a moment to fit it in. And then I was like, oh, do I make another bonus scene? And then you run out of time and things happen. That was probably one of them. You could include any Maddie moment and it would be like worthy and hilarious. There was actually, now that I'm reaching the ends of my mind, there was that fake plan. I don't know if you remember, Zach, when Maddie had come up with this split plan to tell Mushy that it was being split between Jordan and Aston. And then Mushy's like telling Aston about the split plan. And then she starts like believing the split plan is the reality. And then Aston's like, no, Maddie, the split plan's fake. We're not do not vote for me. And Maddie's like, And the only reason I think I couldn't include that is because I think their mics had cut out and then I didn't have the audio. Like I would have loved to put that in the episode because it was so funny and just so Maddie it was just
It's like,
please don't vote.
Don't vote for me. Yeah.
It's a mushy.
oh,
Yeah. I feel
So
like she
good.
plays a whole like 24 hours of Survivor in like 20 minutes. Like the
Yeah.
amount of time that flips and flops around. It's so good. So,
The fact
so
that
good.
it was like 2 days and she's lived like 5 years.
Yeah. But that's what you want out of the experience, right? Surely she comes out feeling like she's done everything.
Oh, totally. And I think like Maddie, because I had a conversation with Maddie after the season, like she's a very self-aware person. She knows that she has those funny light moments, and she just said like, do whatever you want to do. And I said, okay, like I'm gonna have fun with your edit. And she like enjoys that more. Like she enjoys that there was a little bit of poking fun at her and whatnot, because like she played so hard, and the time she played really, really well, she got so much more out of the experience, and she felt so much more satisfied with the experience because she went full tilt at all times. And like, if there's a lesson to any LRG player or future LRG player, it doesn't matter if like you make mistakes or if you play badly or if you get voted out earlier. If you go hard, you're going to look back on that experience so much more fondly because you played the game and had that experience. So go in and just like have fun. And
I think I had a conversation with Mars actually at the end of the season. I remember him saying that to me, like he was sort of happy that he went in and sort of played hard and
and there's definitely
have a good time. And
definitely people that like, you know, get voted early that aren't happy with the experience or could have been happier. But there's also people at the end that go, oh, I wish I did this, or I have regrets or whatever. But there's also people that go early, they go, oh my God, I had the best time, I got voted out third. But like, what an experience it was, because they went hard.
I guess a lot of LRG players, I feel like, come out of the experience knowing more about themselves, or kind of they seem to have some epiphany in this game that you get to see. I know it's really different on the other side of hosting, but are there things that you feel like you've learned about yourselves or about the process, or kind of like you've heard anything from the contestants where you're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize that experience could give me this or give that person this? It's a tricky question.
It is a tricky question, but I think it's a really good question. And I actually talk about it quite a bit, like with people who, like in my life, who don't really know about Survivor and aren't really fans of the game or have anything to do with it. I mean, I think I might have said this to you at some point, but I actually think the game of Survivor and watching it so intimately, really, like being played, you know, it's just taught me a lot about humans and human nature and different types of people and how they behave, and you know, just about like kind of I guess human nature, how people behave and react and adapt to different situations, and what that meant, the roll-on effect that has. Like, it's been really, that's been an interesting journey for me, and in turn it makes me look into myself and go, okay, like what's my Survivor kind of character? Like, how would I be in that situation, and how would I react, and what's my strength? Like, if I was going into a game like this, like what would my strength be? And would I try and play like really interesting people who they want to be something that they're not, or they play into who they really are, and what works best for some people doesn't work for other people. It's just it's an interesting sort of, you know, display of people and society, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think for me, being like, I mean, it's just an LRG, it's not a huge deal, but like being in a leadership role and not wanting to let anyone down, like my whole life, not wanting to let anyone down or disappoint people or whatever. But in a situation like this, like there's always going to be times where you're disappointing people, whether they didn't get cast or, you know, they didn't like the edit that you gave them or whatever else, you know, how to deal with that and deal with it gracefully, but also deal with it in a way that is not giving up my own sense of self and my own morals, or trying to get them to come away feeling happy. Like, it's a really like hard balancing act, I think, and that's something that I've learned hopefully to do a lot better, and not just to try and people please, because that sort of, you know, ends up disappointing people more, I think, in the long run. and being more advocating for myself and you know what the actual product needs, I think has been a great learning experience for me too.
And I think you do that so well.
Yeah, and it doesn't always go well.
But it's grown.
Like, there's definitely been times where it hasn't gone as well as I would have liked. But you can only respond the best way you know how in the moment, and then try and learn from it if you feel like it didn't go well, or if you feel like you could have done it better or handled the situation better. Because like in Survivor and LIG, you're dealing with so many different types of personalities and people from different walks of life that, you know, dealing with one person can be different than dealing with someone else.
But it's like Survivor, right?
It is like Survivor. Like we're playing our own version of Survivor.
Like I just play Survivor now with myself.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm on the bottom at the moment.
It's been a great learning experience in so many ways.
So many ways. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And I know it's a tricky question and there's some vulnerability in that, but I feel like it's really they're those special moments, right, to reflect back on and be like, you know, we built this, we hosted this, and this was our experience. And you know what you give to people, even though there may be some disappointments along the way, is just so grand and so I don't know, meaningful. I feel like when people walk out of this, they come out as more self-aware people or better people, or they've come out with friendships that you never, you know, there's people that I've never interacted with in my life that I've met through that space. And it's just, you know, I'm glad that you guys have got your Survivor Canberra community to share that with. Okay, well, kind of wrapping it up, like, what do you think season 4 will be remembered for?
See, that's a really hard question for me. I don't know why that's harder than the last question. I think it's going to be remembered as a fun season. I think it's going to be remembered for some messy votes, some great gameplay, maybe some missed opportunities as well, a great final 3, a great winner. I think also like taking Survivor Canberra into like the next phase, like, you know, I feel like the production really upped, the audio really upped the ante, the challenges. So I think like heading into that next phase of Survivor Canberra, like the new school almost. So yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what the new school looks like when we get to season 5. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you guys wanted to share or talk about, or from the behind the scenes that people might be interested in?
I don't know if there's anything that anyone would be interested in.
Is anyone interested in any of this? That's the question.
I think so. I'm sure we would have heaps of comments here, but given we're not live, we can have them with us.
I think it's more maybe just a shout out to all the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, people that are there that don't necessarily make the screen.
Yeah, there was so much work, like,
so much
work. Pre-filming, like, you know, Loz, Carleen on the props, for example. Obviously Malcolm with the challenges. I had like, you know, if you saw Eden and I's conversation around game design, like it just went on and on and on, and we dissected every part of that game design, saw what could go wrong, saw what could go right. So shout out to Eden as well, who did such a great job with that. You know, Nick with the buffs and the logos and the graphics. There's, you know, we could go on and on and on, Zach, but also just a shout out to you guys for doing the Backbenchers podcast.
Yes, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. Like giving up your time every week to do this does not go unnoticed either. So thank you to you, Zach, and to everyone else that did the Backbenchers podcast too. Yeah,
there's I guess, like you said, there's just so many people to thank, but it's very clear with both of you how much love and admiration you have for all the people who put in that time. And you know, you wouldn't have the community around you if you weren't showing that gratitude. So I think it just speaks the testament of who you guys are. Okay, well, if that's all from you, then I'm gonna throw back to my colleagues in the studio, and we will see you hopefully in season 5, and we'll let them do the wrap up. So over to you, Charlie.
Thanks, Zach.
Back in the studio, not Charlene Ashley. Your Charlene's pushing the button, so thank you, Charlene, behind the scenes. That is going to conclude our content for season 4 of Survivor Canberra Jura. Lord, I can not say it. Woof. We have a lot of thanks to give to the cast for being such great sports, listening to us critique their game they played years ago and listening to us, play the what if games. We want to give a big shout out to Jasmine, Simon, Ben, Haley, Rose, Deli, Mark, Jordan, Mushy, Maddie, Mars, Aston, Derek, Bree, Janine, Natalie, Anthea, and Will. Want to thank you guys for being such great sports, being so fun to watch, and playing your hearts out and putting it all on the line here online for us to judge. Also want to thank, I can't speak. It's fun. We want to thank our other correspondents here on the Backbenchers, Zach, Eza, Riddy, Charlene, and Tuddy, along with myself. Thank you for letting us be a part of your community here and yap all of the hours along the way. We want to thank the viewers for watching. They obviously, without viewers, we're just talking to ourselves. So we're really happy to have you join us each and every week in the episodes in here at Backbenchers. I want to thank Dan and Liv for giving us that awesome hour of great content, but along with everything they do to get a season going, to plan it, to do everything, and to help us here postseason, making sure everyone is having just the time of their life. So thank you, Dan and Liv. Thank you to everyone who helped put the season on while out there on the site. There's more than you know. If you see behind the scenes, you'll know it takes a village to make a awesome outcome, and here we are. So thank you, village. And shout out to mom and dad. Shout out to everyone. But it's going to end our season 4 content, but don't you worry. It's not the end. We have season 5 coming to you? Question mark. We'll be back to cover that whenever that is here. And, we'll have so much fun. But for now, for season 4 of Canberra's Backbenchers, we're signing off. Ashley here to say goodbye.